we go. Hello, everybody. Those of you who are in the chat, or we'll see this later. Welcome to Left for Random Talk.
Hello, and welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We are here tonight with episode 13 of Left for Random. Once again, we are your hosts. I'm Rev, she's HH. How you all doing?
Hi, LT. Welcome to the chat.
And hello, LT. All right. So tonight we've got a few topics we're going to be talking about tonight. Tonight we've got the following: TennoCon, Venus stuff we saw and what we want to do, and our thoughts. Cyberpunk news. Journalist, in huge quotation marks, illegally records event and gets major flack for it. Series continuations. Do long series benefit from having shared continuities? Examples: Power Rangers and Gundam. And Gundam getting a live action movie.
There's gonna be a lot of Gundam today.
Yes, minor info and bringing up the first live action movie they did. And of course, tonight we also have our monthly things.
Yep, Pokemon of the month and Gundam of the month.
Mobile Suit of the Month, yes. And this one is special to me.
I'm gonna say this now because I'm likely gonna forget if I don't. Snow is wondering if she can join in for the Venus conversations.
Sure, we're gonna start that now anyway, so why not?
Oh shit, wrong button.
It's like, and look at that, we booted her. We're also gonna be running a little.
I am here.
Never mind then. There she is. Hi, Snow.
Carry on what you were saying, Rev.
No, I was going to say this for the audience, that tonight we are going to be running a little experiment here, just keeping things going back to tradition, see how it goes, that kind of stuff.
So no game tonight. We're going to see how people react to having no game over a game.
Yes. So let's go ahead and talk about the thing we're all here for. And yes, Warframe and the Venus expansion.
Well, Yay. I'm certainly still humming the freaking theme.
Yeah.
I don't doubt it.
We added a music bot to the Discord that we all use that I made. Oh, hey, Equinox. And people have been playing the Warframe song for Fortuna over and over again.
Hold on a second.
We all lift together, and I did see that they did put out an official link for that song now without, the audience cheering in the background, which is nice.
Hold on a sec. I can hear an echo in the background.
Equinox is in the call.
That explains it.
I'm listening.
Okay. Well, that's going to be a... All right. Anyway, so, yes, Fortuna. It's actually a little funny. The song actually overtook Fallout 76's Country Road.
There's memes of that everywhere.
Exactly.
I don't know about anybody else, but I am happy that happened. Because, with my family, if there's something that my mom really, really likes, she will do it on repeat to the point where nobody likes it for the rest of their lives. So I don't like the Muppets. I don't like Galaxy Quest. I don't like old songs I actually used to really love. So the song from Fallout got on my nerves the second I heard it.
Well, here's the fun thing. I mean, I actually love that song, but specifically the Golden Circle version, because it just sounds a whole lot better than just generic country thing.
Mm-hmm. Well, regardless.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I liked mostly just how it sounded very much like a for We All Live Together sounds very spiritual-esque.
I wouldn't say spiritual-esque. It's more. It speaks to unity more so than a spirit.
I listened to it and I immediately thought, oh my god, those are songs that you would hear from people that worked on the railroad way back when.
Yeah.
Yeah, that I believe they did reference it's a chainsaw.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, personally, seeing all that, I actually really enjoyed it. I love seeing how the Solaris colonists actually work to refine all the stuff in the little colony. I liked it.
And we also got
I'm trying
answers.
to remember.
Sorry.
Hmm?
We also got answers. Like, one of the questions we asked and we're really curious about is like, how the heck do you get to the actual exploration if the place is so freezing cold? It was answered. You go up a fucking elevator.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's a good thing we're like, the Warframes. I mean, we can go out in the void of space and like underwaters. Like, well, at least the cold shouldn't matter. But I still wonder what would happen if we went into operator form and out in the.
We have a small microcosm of that whenever we go to Europa or any of the Corpus frontier worlds.
Oh, or just take the sort of constant cold damage.
Exactly. So we've seen how cold affects the Warframes.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the Tenno, you mean?
Yeah. Well, and also the Warframes as well, depending on which ones you bring.
I still think it's kind of funny with my operator being Vizaran school. My health regen is so high. The cold, any damage it ticks off, it just regains right back.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Fair enough. There's something that still bothers me about the Solaris, just the people in general. And the question is, what are they exactly? Like, they're cyborgs, obviously, but what kind?
I think I think they are people, but they are marked to be slaves, and that's a very nasty word I don't like saying, but they are marked via having no actual face, like having no semblance of human. Like, when we look at the corpus, we see very little cybernetic changes to them. Like, yeah, they have a robotic voice. We don't very much see cybernetics.
Well, now I get to see what's underneath that mask.
Yeah. But, like, with people of Fortuna, we can clearly see it. See it.
Yeah, we see the points of where the cybernetics are.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, funnily enough, I've seen this kind of cybernetic work before, interestingly enough.
Mm-hmm.
In the Star Wars standalone movie Rogue One, there are individuals called the Decraniated, and they're basically humanoid beings who were dead, effectively, and a mad scientist came around to battlefields, salvaged what was left, and added cybernetics to them. Some of them didn't have heads, yet still functioned, and others who had about the entire upper half of their heads removed had a little sensor module placed where the head used to be. So when I see these guys, this is why I assume they were corpses, just brought back to keep working.
Oh. Well, let's see. Wasn't there a part in the lyrics is like working until we fall?
So they're all still alive.
They are working themselves to death, essentially. Well,
but the thing is, they're not dead at all. Because
well, no.
If we're saying like they were corpses brought back to life, and they say, we're gonna work until we fall, there is a child in the video, like in the intro, who already has cybernetics. So them dying and then getting cybernetics isn't a thing. There's no way it's a thing.
You're talking about Boone, right? Or was there a different kid?
No, there was a child. There was a child trying to drag a wrench for their dad.
Yeah, that's Boone. Again, I've looked at Boone and I don't see where the cybernetics are. To be honest.
You have to look at the neck area. It looks like they have a doll's head plastered onto a swivel.
You know what? I'm gonna check that up here on, excuse me, YouTube real quick. Again, muted, obviously. Just gonna look at the muted. Yeah, just in motion, so I can see exactly, where it is.
On the subject of that, of Boone specifically, the MOAs. Thoughts on the pet MOAs?
I'm so excited.
I mixed about.
Whoa! Stop. Retry that. You were roboting.
I said I have mixed opinions about the pet MOAs personally.
Mm-hmm.
I like the concept. I like the concept. Let's get that clear. I like it, but my concern is construction for those of us who don't have plat, and we've already seen how this goes. Especially with Cetus. You can build it, but it takes so many resources. Like saws and etc. So many resources, and then you need very expensive resources to customize it, and that's my worry for the MOA pets.
Not to mention, you have to gather up the standing in order to probably get the pieces to begin with.
Exactly.
Just like with the Zaws.
Exactly, and then this is my. Go ahead.
Oh, LT found the cybernetics thing that I was talking about. Personally, I'm still hoping there's just a microscopic chance that you can ride one of those MOAs out there as a tauntaun. That's all I want.
Really want to do
that. I wanted Ballast to slap somebody, and it didn't happen. I'm holding hope for a tauntaun MOA.
I think
we'll have to wait for Ballast until what was it, the new war.
Yeah, he's coming back, by the way.
I mean, he's not dead.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Again, I checked the injury. You don't die from that one. I mean, at worst, he's in shock, and if he's not treated, he could die.
Yeah, but then again, Lotus took him into space.
Exactly. Well, again, we've confirmed that there's, especially for the Warframes, we have technology that lets us fly through the air without an issue.
We officially have 5 people in this call. That's awesome. Okay.
Yeah, LT showed me that. Okay, I see it. He is a cyber child. Oh, that's concerning.
Nefanyo is gonna get his doing. Gonna get it.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of Neth, let's talk about that gaudy statue of his.
Oh God, we move from a potato man in a turkey costume to a giant coin. A giant coin. I want to punch him in the face. I want to kill him. I hate that guy.
I hate him. I hate him and everything he stands for.
Exactly.
See, why can't we have a boss fight like we did with Bayhek?
Well, actually,
we would punch Bayhek in the face, but
no. Here's the thing. Way back in the day of Warframe's history, way back, when Neff was redesigned, they actually had a Bayhek style boss fight plan for him, where he would use this controller chair thing to fight the Tenno. But it was so big they could never implement it in the maps they had.
Well, now they could technically if they're making huge Terralus-sized crabs.
Exactly. So it's very likely we're gonna get the chance to fight Neff in Venus.
Yay!
And not only fight him, but also fight his stupid fucking nephew.
The typo.
So what was his nephew again?
Durf Anyo. I actually explained this to you before.
I was trying to remember. I couldn't remember the name off the top of my
Somebody was trying to say Nerf Anyo, but they typoed and said Durf Anyo instead, so they made his nephew Durf.
What about Seth Anyo, the cooler cousin?
Actually, I think Seth is supposed to be the sergeant, I think.
I wish I could find that picture that they used on the dev stream that one time of. It was
a
piece of fan art that someone. Oh, you found it? I couldn't find it.
I have sources, you see.
Well, as easy as finding a screenshot from that dev stream, but I can't remember which one it was.
LT is wondering about those giant spiders from the devs of Voided.
Oh, the spiders? Yeah, let's talk about the speeders for a moment.
Scooters.
Well, we'll get back to Neff and Durf in a second. I have mixed opinions about them, to be completely honest.
Okay, are we talking about the big ones, or are we talking about the itty bitty
Big ones,
ones?
the giant spiders. That's what they're talking about.
Yes.
Because there's also those little smaller ones that like just screw you over on your hoverboard.
There's a recent tweet saying that these spiders are somewhat self-thinking. Like, they won't actively come after you unless you mess with a base or something.
Yeah, I mentioned this before. There are glorified guard dogs.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder how mechanical they are, and how are they mix of biological and
They are,
technology?
because you can pop the top of them.
Okay.
Yeah, the top is like a synthetic alloy, kind of close to flesh, but not quite there. Again, this is the thing about Corpus machines. They always skirt the line of mechanical and organic in odd ways. Oh my, we need to show this on screen.
What?
I'm putting it in the gallery. Apparently, I think it's either the devs or someone else brought in.
Oh, they did the
one of
size comparison? Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah, and they fought. Yeah, and they fought the Terrorless.
Yeah, the Terrorless and them were like.
Yeah.
The spiders started attacking the Terrorless.
I might as well just show it. It's like you versus the guy she tells you not to worry about.
Yep. Holy crap.
Pew pew pew.
Oh wow, that thing's actually tiny compared to that thing.
I know.
Well, this gives us a general idea of how large these things. Yeah, how large they are, and I think I know what we're gonna be doing to take them down. I'm looking. No, I'm looking at them. I'm looking at their legs, and there seems to be like a power source underneath the knee area, and I'm guessing that's what we blast apart to weaken, kind of like the jackal.
I hate fighting the jackal.
I love it.
I think it's easy in my opinion.
Oh man, I have such great memories of the jackal teabagging.
Yeah.
As he broke.
Yes, and I remember that as well. Again, one day we got to tell that story in dramatic retelling in detail. Anyway. So yeah, the spiders. I'm a bit disappointed that some of the ones that hold the guns that we were shown like early on aren't resource collectors, which I'm a bit disappointed at. Because it would have made them interesting to kind of fight. You see them walking across Venus with their little gun, and you see them sucking up valuable resources, and you could fight them to get something much better. But I guess we take what we get. What else?
That and the resource collectors looked more Grenier than Corpus. LT is wondering about the new conservation efforts you can do in the new one. I like this idea.
Yeah,
where you can track an animal and rescue it.
Yes.
I like it, because in the plains you can easily kill the little critters and not care.
Well, here's the thing. The Kuakas are basically vermin, to the point where it's like the common day rat. If you let them spread too much, they'll get into the food, they'll make life a living hell.
And probably also the reason why the Kondraks are so widespread is because of all the Grenier that we're killing out on the plains. We're basically killing a bunch of buzzards.
Exactly. There's so much fresh meat out there thanks to the wars that they're being well fed and not breeding like crazy.
Kind of makes sense why the Grenier are so stupid that they would just mindlessly shoot at a bird just for being there.
Yes. Another thing, but speaking of the conservation idea, I actually like the fact that DE has actually attempted to create new wildlife and not just carbon copy things found on Earth. I'm really happy about that. Specifically the verminx that they showed, or the white-breasted male verminx, is quite
you have
what
people
you call
screaming
it.
in your background, Ruff.
I know. I'm about 5 seconds away from yelling, so I'm trying to get through this quickly and deal with it.
Okay. Yeah.
Thank you. So, of course, I like it. It's a very interesting creature, and it looks like a predator. It looks like something that eats meat, but apparently it eats vegetation. Go figure. It basically, I think it's the possum of Venus.
That remind me of an anteater.
Yes. Give me a second. I'll be right back.
At least in appearance.
Okay, he muted himself. I like the design of the critter. And I'm curious about those robot fish, too.
Yeah. Those, I think if I remember correctly, those were remnants of some of the old life that the was it the Sentients created or the Orkin?
Orkin.
Yeah.
The Orkins terraformed the planets, and those fish came with that system to bring coolant to the surface and cool down Venus. I am very curious about that giant tower. I want to explore it so bad.
Not the Nathaniel statue, I'm assuming.
No, tower, the one that's spewing out the storm.
Okay, what I missed? What are we saying so far?
We're talking about the robot fish and the giant tower that spews out the storm that cools down Venus.
The tower of fish? What?
The robot fish that the Orkin left behind to work with the coolant, and the giant tower that is spewing that cold storm.
I'm sorry. For a second there, I thought we were talking about like some giant space station. Exactly. I was like, what is this? What is this fucking G Gundam shit?
That looked kind of cool though. How big a giant robot fish ship.
Yeah.
Especially since it kind of looked like a mechanical eel from what I could see behind the basically their fishermen.
LT, I agree. I want to use that new ship to destroy the tower. Well, no, not the tower. Not the tower. The tower is keeping Venus cool. That's what I'm talking about. What you're probably talking about is the statue. There's a huge difference. The statue needs to go.
I'm hoping right now that DE actually allows us to bring this thing in orbit and just take out the statue as an option.
What I'm hoping is that we're allowed to mess up that giant metal face they were building for the statue.
Agree. Just in general, it's like this is what I want. There's an optional side quest in the game, just completely optional, that says ruin Neff's day, and it's just us flying the ship in, hovering over the statue, and live calling Neff Anyo, and then just completely obliterating the thing with the mega cannon. That's all I ask.
I want to climb that statue and put my glyph where his face is supposed to be, and it's so like Bucket Prime now rules this land.
You know,
can I ask
that
are they
sounds
gonna
like
let us
revenge
use
out of an anime.
Yeah.
Can I wonder, like, I know they have the hoverboards and stuff, but do you think they'll allow Arcwing use as well?
Maybe.
Yeah. I actually, if you pay close attention to the screen when they bring the hoverboards, the Arcwings are still usable.
Okay.
So, I think this is what I think actually. I think they can't. The reason I think that in order to kind of incentivize us to use the Arcwings, I mean the hoverboards, maybe they'll say something along the lines of like, Venus's winds are too strong for you to use the Arcwing for too long, so you have to be at a certain level most of the time.
Actually, it would make sense that using Arcwing is not recommended, because like the higher up you go, the colder it gets, the harsher the winds, and the faster ice will form on you, making it near impossible to fly. So while we will be able to use Arcwing, it probably isn't a good idea.
Yes.
Yeah.
Another quick note I do want to bring up about the I do want to say this right now. I'm not a fan of how the conservation hunting is, the whole, what is that thing?
The echo lure?
Yes. I'm not a fan of that. Again, but here's the thing. I was raised on an island. So naturally, my state of mind has always been, okay, just wait in the water, bleed something, and they'll come to you. I'm not a fan of the whole, mimic the sounds.
That's duck hunting right there. That is duck hunting.
Quack, quack, quack.
It was pretty funny because I had left my computer at one part in the stream, and I came back to when they were showing off the echo lures, and at first I didn't have the context of what the Tenno had in their hand. It's like, why does the Tenno have a bong? That's seriously what it looked like.
Or a vape.
Oh god, you know that Omni Voice is gonna make that a joke when it comes up.
He is going to tear that entire thing apart.
Just exactly bring it down to to its most standard core, like with the puns of Eidolon.
Wukong uses it too much, and he just turns into his big mist cloud.
Actually, here's something I want to know. Could we actually use this tool to kind of distract our enemies?
Doubt it.
Well, I mean, you can use the fishing spears out of Cetus, but
oh god, it's the adventures of Random Ostrich and the Terrorist.
No, I'm just hoping to do this just for a joke of, yes, the call of the majestic space duck. Yes.
No,
what else?
I can do that better. Oh,
All right.
Oh yeah, you have a rubber ducky.
I can do that. My rubber ducks are all upstairs. I now have 45 rubber ducks.
And no, now they're gonna have to have a skit where we have a bunch of Warframe fashion framed as people from Duck Dynasty with camouflage colors.
Oh no.
No.
Going hunting.
Anyway, side note as well, or something I want to bring up is, throughout this whole thing as well. Let us really talk about the Railjack for 1 second.
Mm-hmm.
I am incredibly happy that we finally get a small frigate class ship. Finally, our arsenal is expanding.
I just like that we could just share it with friends.
Exactly.
You have to go through the annoying process of host a group, invite friend orbiter. Friend in orbiter cannot see the changes you are making around them.
Exactly. But now we have the ship. It's like, yay! Actually,
I'm waiting for all the bugs that are gonna come with the Railjack.
Well, actually, here's the thing.
I see is connection.
Yeah. Obviously, I got a feeling I won't be able to play Venus with you guys again, potato.
Mm-hmm.
But hopefully, Railjack is stable enough for me to I can do it. Anyway, I was going through the footage of Railjack, and I saw something. I noticed that not only are there the 2 side gunner positions and the pilot, but there is also options to allow the 4th player to actually board the main, the heavy cannon section as well. There's nothing locking them from using it. It's just, it requires a bit more power.
Yep.
It's probably for one of the bigger thing, because I'm assuming the main part of the battle, you have the 3 people on the ship and 1 person who's doing the operative stuff. And then they'll come to a bigger battle where you have all 4 people and people are boarding the ship and everything's going wacko and all that jazz.
Yeah. And then, actually, another thing the 4th person could do is control the power supply for the ship. As someone flies, they're behind it doing the whole, power to shields, power to weapons, etc., etc. At least that's what I think.
Regardless, this should be interesting, especially for someone like myself coming off of Guns of Icarus with the same sort of 4 cooperative gameplay.
I still need to stream that with you guys.
Actually, speaking of the Railjack, there is something actually LT and everyone can attest from my other group. When we saw the Railjack, the immediate thought we all had was, this looks and feels like a Covenant lich. And to be honest, I can see where they're coming from with it. It's the same interior build, but more weapons to it, which is, kind of shocking. Again, just putting it out there.
This is a Star Wars thing, by the way.
No, it's a Halo.
Oh, crap.
It's like, fool! Yeah, exactly. He's right. It really does.
Well, I know Quite Shallows where he made the joke that it looks like Jar Jar Binks.
Oh my god. Quiet is not happy about a lot of the shit.
Well, I mean, that's sort of Quiet's thing.
I know. But still. Again, one day I wish we could have her on, just so I can say, you suck, and get on with my life. Or just say to her for once, it's like, I can't believe all this time I've been taking shit from a mute AI. How we have sunken as a people. No, I'm kidding.
Or are you? Anyway.
You never know. You never know.
This entire topic, conversation of Railjack, my brain immediately goes to the Fomorian fleet.
Oh, that's actually something I want to see. Can we use this ship to fight the Fomorian?
Yeah. Granted, the Railjack is a good size. It's likely the Fomorian is going to obliterate it, regardless of all the debris, but it would still be interesting if they added an option to instead use your Arcwing and stupidly go into the ship over or use Railjack to try and obliterate it with a big gun.
Exactly. This is what I think it could work. Two people, you got the squad going, and then your focus is you have to keep the ship moving towards it, and maybe have two other people outside the ship acting as like escorts. Then once you get close enough to the Fomorian, it's just a matter of getting in range and then breaking apart the shield and destroying the core. And then you wouldn't even need to what's the word? You wouldn't even need to fly to a safe distance. All you need to do is just activate the light speed, and you're safe.
Yep.
I think that would work better, to be honest.
By the way,
at least in my opinion.
I find it kind of interesting that they revealed Ordis is in control of the Railjack. Apparently, one of the cut ideas for the sacrifice is Ordis got a body, an actual body from the Vitruvian, and then they scrapped it.
Yes.
And now he's got a new body as a giant ship.
It makes no sense.
It makes perfect sense. He can now fight alongside his operator again.
Again, me and my other friend Cole, we've spoken a lot about this, and honestly, we want to see Ordis return to at least some form of, some organic form, even if it's just a warframe.
Yeah.
Just to see his skills and what he used to be before becoming Ordis.
Well, he was definitely a warrior. We know that much. It wasn't his real name. I think his real name was Ordon or something.
Ordon, yeah.
Ordon Karras, yes.
Poor guy.
Agreed. Well, at least he went out as a.
I went through the fragments. I listened to the story and just. I thought what he did was actually kind of dumb. You have this dream of killing all the Artican. Okay, I'm gonna pull out these plugs in the back of my head, which will slowly kill me, and then I'm only gonna kill 2 people, and that's it.
Well, here's the thing. Apparently, I did a bit more digging. Some of my sources. Ordis was completely disarmed to stand before the emperors, and the only way he would be able to actually do anything is if he smuggled some sort of weapon that couldn't be detected. So he figured, all right, I'm going to remove 2 bones from my hip, sharpen them into blades, and then hide them underneath in the back of my head. And as soon as I get the opportunity, I pull them out, and I'll kill as many as I can. Again, he knew completely well that this was going to be a one-time attempt, and he couldn't afford to mess it up too badly.
Yep.
So again, this is just to clarify, because it's not made too clear, at least in this context, anyway. Yeah. Anyway.
Let's see. Another topic of Venus is the modular weapons.
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
excited for that.
I'm interested in this. I want to see where they go with this.
Well, I just built my my first Zaw today, so that seemed pretty straightforward. But I feel like guns are going to be a little harder to do than melee, or at least a little less straightforward.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm guessing it's a matter of like, okay, here are your options. You can add an elongated barrel for better sniping, or you can make a shorter frame in order to use it as a machine gun kind of thing. That's what I see it as. It is. It's all a matter of balancing practicality with functionality.
Yeah. So for sure it'll have the 3 pieces: barrel, stock, and
handle,
receiver. Just
Exactly.
like with the prime weapons. Those are always the 3 pieces you need.
Yeah, actually, speaking about these weapons, there is something I want to know, and that is, are we building, actual, like not traditional, military grade weapons, like this kind of stuff, or is it actually repurposed Solaris tools?
So basically, is it going to look like salvage, or is it going to look like the proper?
Yeah, that, and is it going to function like a proper gun, or is it going to function a repurposed tool like in Dead Space?
Yeah. At first, I thought you meant like if you take the Zaws for example, it's like, okay, is it going to look like the traditional Tenno style weapon, or is it going to look like the tribal weapons? And it ended up looking like the tribal weapons.
Well, actually, if you pay close, well, here's the thing: if you pay attention to the Ostron cutscene when you first arrive, and then look at the blades used, it's very obvious that these are fishing instruments, whaling tools.
Mm-hmm.
Which personally I really liked. Again, coming from an island and seeing these tools constantly used, I was like, oh, this is nice. It feels like it's like, oh, I never left home.
Yeah, because I know I just built myself a staff essentially with the sort of hook at the end of it.
Nice. But this is what like I said, I want to see what the Solaris weapons are, and personally I want to see where this goes. Speaking of the Solaris, what I guess we can move on to this next question. What was everyone's thoughts about the NPCs we met?
Pretty interesting, I have to say. I'm more excited to just jump around like a lunatic and see where I can actually reach in the city, because I'm likely going to try and climb to the very top of the town and just sit there.
Everyone's just walking around. It's like, that we asked for, we got there.
You're cutting out so much there. I didn't understand that.
As I hope.
No, go ahead.
As a Cetus, I do hope that they do add like another pet vendor, and I like Nakak. I wish they had a little bit more operator cosmetics.
Yes, I agree with that. Now, what I was going to joke is that you're just sitting there on the tallest building. We asked for it, and instead we got this bird up here.
Bird.
Ember's nest.
This is Ember's nest.
Anyway, well, actually, first off, I actually like Biz, as silly as the name is. He seems like a genuinely good person, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't he the same guy who was lugging the coolant barrels as the kid carried the hammer?
I would have to watch through the reveal footage again to see.
All right. Well, it doesn't need to be the same person, but it's like anyway. So you got Biz, and then you got the forewoman. I forget her
Okay,
name.
I actually agree with LT here. I want to be able to make a MOA with the parts of the ones you kill on the surface of Venus. That would make a lot more sense.
That would be interesting.
Because in Cetus, you build Zaws and stuff using the resources that you find out in the plains. So it would make sense that you would build the MOAs and stuff with whatever you destroy and find out in Fortuna.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense.
Yeah, heavy salvaging.
Yeah.
I feel like coolant is gonna be like an ingredient in a lot of things.
I have doubts there, but maybe.
Like it'd be like the version of Grodcruel. Or Grok.
Groktrul.
Yeah.
Yeah, Groktrul. Actually, mining is going to happen in Venus as well, so we might see a return of some ores in this area.
Think it'd be the same ones as the Cetus ones?
I think the common ones, like not the gems, but the very common, like copperol and all those things.
Pyrol.
Yeah. Again, like common ores.
Rubido.
Yeah,
probably.
Well, actually, let me check something up. Let me check something real quick while I'm on like the game. Is if I remember correctly, for all the ores that are on Earth, you have ferrite, rubido, the neuros, and detonite. Well, we have the ferrous steel and we have the rubido, or the at the least. So I feel like Venus would have at least one of those common things. So maybe something like related to the alloy or the polymer, probably more likely the alloy.
Yeah. Again, if what I assume is going on with Venus is correct, we will see common elements start to appear more frequently, but more rare ones based on location and temperature.
Mm-hmm.
What else? Yeah. Again, going back to the NPCs for a second. The woman who gives us the bounties, I guess forewoman or foreman of this entire colony. Yeah. What are your thoughts on her?
She kind of reminds me of I keep forgetting her name, but the one who runs Steel Meridian.
Oh, Cressatal.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm a new logo person.
Oh.
Please don't tell me they hang up. Just said, oh yeah, because I'm a new logo person.
Nah, it's like yes, you've offended one of our members, and now he hates you.
For shame.
But no, I get what you said. She has that the fighting spirit. She's quite strong.
The rebellious nature to her.
Exactly.
Another LT again. Another thing I want to see is to have one of the conservation animals you get to keep or purchase for the ship, like how Cetus did with the pet supplier vendor. I don't think that's gonna happen. I don't think that's gonna happen. You're saving animals from extinction, and with Cetus, as Rev just said, there are hundreds, if not thousands, of birds and rodents on the plains. So you're not going to keep an endangered animal on your ship.
You say that, and yet we have Kubra.
They're not endangered.
Domestic. No, the domestic Kubros actually are extinct. The genetics have been long since gone. The only Kubros we see nowadays that aren't modified are the pharaohs. Yes. So, and the incubators that we have process old DNA and refines it. A la Jurassic Park. So, you say that, but it could be possible to genetically clone one of these, near extinction animals and have it on the ship.
Well, I think what they're thinking is the cosmetic versions, not the actual pet. So I really
Okay.
don't think they're going to be adding that to your ship.
Well, if it's just a cosmetic skin, like how the vendors, the Kubro ones, then I guess that works.
No, I mean decoration. The decorations. God.
Oh no.
You're not going to have an endangered animal decoration on your ship. It's understandable with Koakas and Kondrux because they're everywhere. But on Venus, you are rescuing animals from being poached by Corpus. You're not going to have one on your ship because then you're pretty much being a Corpus right there. You're putting it on display.
True, and actually, go ahead.
What kind of reason to thought of is that I wonder how much or how little parent sequence is involved with the things that go on in Fortuna.
Parent sequence is basically they want to reform the corpus, and they are willing to do whatever it takes to make sure people are treated like people. Again, if we take what happened with the Mycovians, they offered a small fortune to Nev in exchange for the children. If they're not directly there, they're probably supporting them via either financially, technologically, or with people.
Yeah.
Because again, even though they're ex-corpus, they still have to abide by corpus law.
Yeah.
Yeah. It just,
Which is still
I
bullshit.
wonder how much they support them or do not support the people on Fortuna.
I doubt we're going to see a parent sequence agent in the colony.
No.
But I think... Go ahead.
No, I was just saying no.
Yeah, but at most, I think we'll find like maybe parent flyers or something like that. Or propaganda.
Like we do see a Corpus ship in Cetus.
Well, those are traders, though.
Yeah, they are. They're people who fly in from the Corpus minor colonies and trade technology for wall meat and similar items. Actually,
that's the thing about the Austrian. They don't have to worry too much about the Corpus because of the barrier they have that protects Cetus.
Not to mention, they can self-sustain, at least in small doses.
Yeah.
Yes.
They can.
Actually,
like we didn't get that. What?
They can self-sustain themselves in small doses.
Ah.
Yes.
Yeah, the tower can actually feed the people in Cetus because she actually tells the people what parts of her to harvest.
Yes, what sections of the meat is right.
Yeah.
And I can see that working for some time, but it's an issue of how quickly the wall meat returns at certain sections, et cetera, et cetera.
Everything has a limit.
Exactly, that's right.
Can only harvest bone. Essentially, it looks like bone marrow. Essentially,
it is bone. It is bone.
Yeah.
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 That, like, you can still harvest it, but it still takes a little while to come back.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Again, if we see a little progression of that. Like there are days where you can arrive and the harvesters aren't doing their thing, but then one day you arrive and look, there they go at it again. Yeah, little things like that. What else? What else are we missing?
Did you ask if that guy who's lugging the barrels was the one who sold the guns or sold what?
That's if it's Biz, the conservationist.
Okay.
What else? Oh, right. We actually have met a Solaris agent before, believe it or not. Yeah, but in the comics mostly. The one called Little Duck.
Yeah.
And what's interesting is that in the comic, she hints at the Solaris colonist. She mentions her grandfather is a metal brain or something like that. Like it's a derogatory, well, not derogatory, but like a generalized term, which again is kind of interesting. Hell, even her own appearance kind of suggests she might be a cyborg like them, at least with the head, I mean. Honestly, I'm hoping to see her in would be nice to finally meet her.
Yeah.
And,
I'm sure they'll give us some sort of
that's
answers.
Oh. Aha!
Wait, I'm waiting for the camera to pan over to the guy. I'm watching the video right now, but it's muted.
Yep. Zoom and enhance.
Nope, it's not. It's not. Never mind. Because like the guy that's lugging the barrels has somewhat of a Zaku look to his face. This guy doesn't.
Hold on.
Sometimes LT, when you're walking toward, like when you land in Cetus, instead of like fast traveling right away and you walk past the whalers, sometimes a Corpus ship will float down to the rocks and just hover there.
Yes. Again, I want to see her, and actually, another character I would like to see as well is the guy from the Cetus fragments, the one who was who revived Korra's cat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would like to see where he is. He did say he left the Corpus and joined Solaris United. So maybe we'll see him.
Hope so.
Yeah. Also, a little side trivia as well. In his fragments, he mentions that the Solaris United had an agent who was a sergeant and was responsible for moving transport on solar rails. I think he's talking about the sergeant on, the boss, the sergeant.
Ah.
If that's the case, then wow, that's telling. Hey, maybe he'll be an ally or an NPC on.
Maybe.
All right.
Are we done with this topic, or do we have any more to say? Other than the fact that we are all going to punch Nathaniel in his coin deck.
Oh, nothing we didn't discuss was the new Warframes.
Oh right. I wanted to talk about them.
They didn't really reveal much about new Warframes this time.
Well, we got the concept art at least.
Oh yeah. The new one, Garuda.
Garuda, and there was like the vampire one.
Vlad, as some people call it, aka the Remnant.
Revenant,
yeah.
I'm glad they're dropping the vampire title. It's clear he's supposed to be some sort of specter.
Yeah, Trinity's already got the whole energy vampire title.
Mm-hmm. Maybe he's an apprentice at first. Hey, I'm making the lore as we go. Garuda, however.
I'm gonna look at a picture of the.
I just find it weird how they consider Garuda like the gore frame, and so like what? You choose to go with any title, you choose to go with the gore frame.
Well, I can see why that would be the case. It looks like she is very internally weaponized. Like there are segments of her that like they can open. And if I'm reading this correctly, at least the images, then it's very possible her entire body is one giant blade.
Or either that, it's a frame of increasing power damage based on how much damage you do to yourself. Maybe. I don't know.
Or actually, there is how do I put it? There is someone I watch on YouTube who does stop motion stuff, and one of their creations, I believe, like a sequel to one of their most popular videos. In it, they have a machine being completely covered in just blood, and according to one of the characters, they said, I I can't wipe her down. These things, blood engines run this shit. Plus, it's a good intimidation factor. So my thought here is that what if Garuda is actually similar? She's a blood engine, runs on the shit.
Is she gonna be the Venus frame like Gara was to Cetus?
Gara was supposed to, yeah, it would be. I would like it. I would like it.
In that way, in the same fashion, you harvest the parts the same way through the bounties. Another thing about bounties, do you think there's going to be a syndicate similar to the Quills?
I don't think so.
Well, here's the thing. It's already set up like this is going, like it's going to be a thing. Because you have the people of Fortuna, and then you have the Solaris United. So it's already set up for that.
Although they're considering those two separate things now?
Possibly. I'm not sure. It's just getting all mixed up.
I think that the Solaris United and Fortuna are the same, except that Solaris United gives you the bounties to deal with Neff's forces, while the people of Fortuna are more resource focused. At least that's my estimation on this whole thing.
A thing I like about this new open world thing is that once you clear out a base, you don't have to return over and over and over again.
Yes, in-field bounty retreat. Thank God.
Oh gods, I hate
Especially
going to
for
the
those
Stiletto.
people that never want to go to.
I hate going to Vahek Stiletto. I hate it.
I just hate in general going to. I just hate the long wait between going through the door, coming out, and just giving the stuff. It's like.
And then you get those people that don't want to like actually extract after your bounty's over, so you're just sitting there waiting for them to actually, get to the door so you can leave. Like.
Ostrich and I think it was Equinox. It was probably Equinox and I. We did a terrorless hunt, and I even said multiple times in recruiting, we are fighting Terry. That is all. Bring this and this and this. Only Terry. We kill Terry. We go to the door. One of the guys who was our main damage dealer was immediately bolting for the giant lake.
Oh, for the love of come on!
Yeah.
You just was like, you do realize we were just doing the terror list, right?
Like, I even pointed out, like, we were only here for the terror list, and, like, the third guy was, like, kind of on the fence. He didn't know if he wanted to go to the lake to summon Gary or Harry, whichever one comes next. I don't fucking know. I don't care. Or go with us. And then, I pointed out, he went, yeah, screw it, let's go. And he went to the door, and the other guy starts screaming at us to come over and waste one of our Eidolon shards or whatever they need for the big guy until until suddenly the timer ran out and we extracted. Note: I do not like playing with randos.
There's certain things you can do missions with randos for, and some not so much.
Meat shields. That's all they are. It's like if I'm playing with randos, I don't care who you are. Resources, that's it.
Oh god, don't get me started on the tellurium farming I did all that time ago. Like, that drew the line. I don't like playing with randos.
It's like you're only an extra item back for me, so just get over it.
Let's see. Not Venus related, but what are your thoughts on the cutscene they showed us for New War?
Oh my god, Space Grandma.
Space Grandmother.
That's pretty much it. We
Our
killed
family
Space
tree
Grandpa.
is growing. Our family tree is growing.
Oh my god.
Well, I spoke with again. I had after I finished what's it called the sacrifice. I paid attention to what Lotus said and I reread it. And what it was, what she said basically alerted me to what her mother really is. She is a massive sentient, but she's stationary, possibly a massive space station. However, I think she's in a serious state of disrepair. Again, keywords that were used were gaunt beyond the black star.
Then, the sentients are sort of a dying race.
Yes, well, gaunt usually means something that, underfed, malnourished, close to death's door. So with that logic, it would stem to reason that she's in such a bad state of disrepair that it could be safe to assume that she's basically, that she's incredibly close to death's door. And now that Lotus has rediscovered her, they're probably working to restore her body to what it once was.
Either that or she's trying to pass the reins of her power or rulership or whatever to Lotus.
Possible. Again, actually, if you take a look at the insides of, I guess, grandmother here, you can actually see rib cages, bones, and of that nature.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of.
If I remember correctly, I think the sentients were also very much of a matriarchal society. I think.
Possibly,
it's
yeah.
It's not really clear if they are or not. Again, we do have a general within their army, but then you also have the station, who seems to be like a leader above Hun Hao.
Yeah.
So it's very unclear. I mean, they are tied to each other.
It is safe to assume that the female sentients are huge compared to the males, then.
Yes.
And they would definitely have more value for a dying race, considering even though I don't think they can reproduce anymore, can they?
No. They explained it in Roll. When the sentients return to the origin system, they became barren. When they're in the Tau system, they're fine.
Exactly. However, there is a way to reverse this, and that is, if the sentients consume Kuva, they can undo the damage of the void and become fertile again.
Oh my god, why hasn't Lotus done that? Are you fucking kidding me?
I don't think she knows. This secret wasn't known by everyone, only the Unum and Gara. And as far as we know, the Unum has decided to remain hidden in her tower, and Gara is dead. The only other person who knows about this is Konzu, and he hasn't been fit to tell anybody about it either.
I think the only other person that knows is both Ordan and the operator, but I don't think the operator is really thinking, hey, I'm going to give this Kuva to Lotus.
Exactly. And another person as well, we could the Worm Queen, because she does bring up the fact that she's harvesting Kuva to restore her sister, which could mean that Kuva could pull, using the spiritual term, pull souls from the void and restore them to a body.
It's implied that she is making that up.
Yes, obviously. I mean, the only real way someone can live beyond death is if they have aura. And as far as I'm aware, the queen didn't have that.
Kuva is just artificial aura.
Exactly. And it seems to be like a philosopher's stone kind of concept. You give something to get something.
Yep.
Or, to use the Harry Potter version, it's like unicorn's blood. You live a half-life.
Half-life 2.
Do you suppose the whole hey kiddo person is going to come into play in the next quest?
Again, I believe that individual isn't. I don't think it is the Tenno's parent. I believe it's just a manifestation of the void itself, because a lot of times as of late, the information has been hinting at that the void is an omnipresent being. It's aware of what's going on out there, but it doesn't have the ability to affect the world outside its dimension. Outside of like very specific individuals, i.e. the Tenno and maybe people who consume Kuva.
Just thought that was be an interesting note since I had the Spectre freaking pop up in my ship again recently.
Oh god,
Actually,
he really, really likes to pop up next to my snowman. And I never see him until I run past him. And I'm like at the foundry and he suddenly says, "Hey kiddo." Like usually in streams when you see me like looking around my ship and running around circles, that is not me being bored. That is me looking for the little fucker.
but here's the thing. He runs on Weeping
Angels. Technology.
Well, here's the thing. If you have your Warframe staring at him and keep the camera on him, and then turn into the operator and go to go to where your Warframe is staring at him, he'll still be there.
Yeah.
So you can trick the system into believing that you're still looking at him, but the second you turn around in either form, he's gone. So yeah, again, kind of sad that.
At the same time, he's on a timer.
Also possible.
Well, I found him next to my snowman again, little prick. I just stood there staring at him and glaring, and then suddenly he disappeared.
And then poof, he was gone.
Yeah, he disappears if you stare at him long enough.
I've had one sit on my market console. I've had one sit on the sort of next to the infestation room, the Helminth room.
Mm-hmm.
And I've had it where she was hanging upside down on the cords over the area where you
put the
in the area
Vitruvian,
between the three rooms. Yeah, the Vitruvian.
That's where I
first honestly,
met him.
Here's the thing. Honestly, I've not seen the spirit appear often on my ship. And again, I think that has something to do with the fact that if you don't drink the Kuva, he doesn't appear as often.
Yeah, I poured it out.
Interesting.
I don't want that shit. No.
I asked Teshin just to help me use it, just because I really didn't understand what was going on. I didn't drink it though, and I didn't throw it away though.
No, what I did was I saw the potential of immortality power. I saw myself using it, and then immediately I said, "Teshin, take it. I don't trust myself."
Yeah.
I guess that covers everything on this topic, unless we're forgetting something.
Yeah, the entire topic took an entire hour.
I think the only other updates that were in there were just like the alternate skins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not much on that.
Mm-hmm. All right. I think that covers everything. Sorry, we went a bit too long.
Yeah, it's Warframe, and we all love Warframe.
It was a big topic.
Mm-hmm. A lot to cover. All right, so I guess we're moving on to our next topic on the list. Snow, do you want to stick around for this, or are you good?
Which topic was that one?
The next one is Cyberpunk News. Journalist, in huge quotations, illegally records events and gets major flack for it.
I haven't heard much on that, so I don't have much input on that. So I'll leave you guys with that.
Okay.
I've come for the Warframe stuff. We've discussed that.
I come for the lore.
I come from the lore. I come from the void. The void speaketh, and now the void returns.
Poof. Just
bid you on to the further other topics. Boop.
All right. Okay. Thanks. All right then. So here we go. Our situation with this one, and so yeah, this was informed to me recently. This was informed to me recently, and according to sources, CD Projekt Red, the people behind the Witcher series, are creating Cyberpunk 2077. And, a lot of people are interested in this. It's the people from The Witcher. And The Witcher is incredibly acclaimed, and for good reason. Good story, good animations, good characters, what's not to love, and great gameplay.
Yep.
But as you can imagine, this next project is very ambitious, and for a long time, there was no information about it till recently. It just kind of exploded onto the scene. And people were excited, people were interested. A trailer recently came out kind of showing us what this world is going to be like. And again, people were like, oh my God, yeah. It did its job, it got us interested. And then CD Projekt Red decided to reach out to a bunch of independent people, independent journalists, guys on YouTube, not IGN or The Verge or any of these other, media who will spin a story in the wrong way. And one of them was a fellow called, heard of him?
You cut out there. Called what?
Yong Yeah.
Sounds familiar, but no.
I believe he's Korean or Vietnamese. And he does new, like what we do, game-related news episodes, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And Young was invited to go out there. And he stated firsthand that we're not allowed to have, they weren't allowed to have any recording devices, no video, no nothing, right? And Young, he did his part, and he was allowed to cover what he was permitted to see, talk about it, but he wasn't allowed to reveal much else. Now, the other group that was invited to this was a group called, was a representative for a YouTube page called Sifted, SIFTD. And they're one of their brilliant journalists thought it would be a smart idea to take his phone in secret and record the whole thing. Like, didn't get the visual, just the audio. Just the audio. And then, and instead of like holding on to it, and then, just holding on to the audio and using as a source, to write articles around, like to refresh your memory, or like when you take notes or something like that. He leaks it online. He leaked classified stuff that CD Projekt Red was nice and hold on a second. I'm cutting out a lot here. Hold on.
Yeah.
I really do hate refreshing this thing. Am I coming in more?
Yeah, you're fine.
Okay. CD Projekt Red was nice enough to invite your group, which isn't very large, I think. It's just like, it's like a medium channel, not too big, not too small.
Yeah.
And then you have the goal to leak classified audio on the internet.
Well, they told you not to.
Yes. And Bill, by the way, you can like join in on this if you want.
Oh, I am.
Good.
That's me slow clapping on this one.
Yep. Like, this is like the dumb thing with NDAs and YouTubers. This is the dumb thing about it. And this is something that I kind of want to bring up here. If a game company, and you're YouTube here, if a game company gives you a game and tells you you can only play this until this moment, or you have to hold on to this game until we give you the okay to play it, listen to them, because you're going to ruin the opportunity for thousands of people. They're never going to trust YouTubers again. That means a lot of money that you could potentially make is wasted. A lot of potential is gone.
Exactly.
Listen to developers. They worked really hard on these games, really hard on these stories, and you fucked it up.
For everyone.
Everyone involved. Nobody's going to enjoy the game very much now.
I would like to add, and I'm probably going to give away my age here, but do you guys remember the old message, don't pirate music, don't pirate movies, things like that?
Yeah, you're not
Yes.
old for that one. Everybody knows that one.
I'm just double checking because I remember the original messages of that, but this is basically the same results in the end.
Okay,
You're
yes.
from different groups, you're giving out what's not supposed to be revealed, and you're ruining a lot of different things because now the creator is going to say, okay, screw you, I'm taking it all back.
Exactly. In fact, LT is the one. Like, I'm. This is public knowledge. There's not like any behind the scenes. LT is the one who broke the story to me first off. So again, thank you, LT.
Yeah.
And yeah, exactly. He said, and within 30 minutes. By the way, these guys posted it on their YouTube channel. By the way.
What?
They're lucky the channel didn't get taken down.
No, here's the thing. So LT's, I was going to bring this up, but LT's pretty much summed it up right here. Within 30 minutes, the video was taken down from YouTube, but it was too late, and someone else got a hold of the audio and spread it around like rabbits. Not only did they get the video taken down, but they were copyright stricken, and they have a strike on the channel by CD Projekt Red.
Again, they're lucky the channel didn't get taken down with them, because if it was severe enough, they could have done it.
Yeah, well, here's the thing: is what I'm. This is what I've heard is that they already had a strike from something else, and they couldn't afford to get another one. But of course, they start freaking out. They start getting worried about this because again, a YouTube channel is difficult to restore once this happens. Especially the whole. Getting that audience back.
Oh yeah. I know this one firsthand, definitely.
Yeah, and so what happened is that, as soon as this happens, the whole point of them doing this, by the way, was not because what's the word? It wasn't for any we're breaking a horrible story behind closed doors or blah 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 blah, blah, right? It was because they took the audio and then they leaked it on their YouTube channel so it would get thousands of views. Basically, they would get it become viral and they could shoot to success. That was their goal.
So they wanted to play double jeopardy just to try and make it fast. Exactly.
And then, as you can imagine, not only has this happened to them, funnily enough, and they've not only has this backfired in their face, funnily enough, but nobody knows who they are because the audio was leaked on Reddit, and now they're no longer credited as the original source. And here's the funny thing: the guy who did this, by the way, is pissed. Not because he's sorry about this happening or anything like that. No, he's pissed because he's not getting the credit he deserves for leaking the information.
Narcissism.
He's not only is he angry, but he's also angry that people are calling him an asshole and he's being such a jerk about it and they trusted you. And he's like, but I'm being journalistic, guys. I'm reporting the news. It's like, no, you're not. You're a fucking.
No, you're not. Oh my god, you were definitely not.
Exactly.
Self-entitlement.
You're a yellow jacket and you deserve to be treated as such.
Yellow Jacket's being kind of nice on that one. I gotta tell you that.
No. He's as bad as those wasps that pop out of the head of a roach or something.
The roaches.
Yeah.
No.
Those types. Okay, yeah, that one I agree with you on that one. Yeah.
No. Yellow. That's Yellow Jacket is It's kind of like my own. No. It's my own terminology for yellow journalists.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay, got it.
I'm still going with the bug thing though.
Yeah,
let's be honest. That was a low blow. He deserves to be called a bug.
Exactly, and I'm trying to find the guy's name because, frankly, I want to warn people. I want to warn people about this guy. Don't listen to him. Don't come to this guy. He is a parasite. Plain and simple.
Mm-hmm.
Like
it reminds me of all those other YouTubes like Drama Alert type things or whatever it was.
God, don't remind me of fucking Keemstar. Worst person to work with.
I'm just saying it all kind of brings back all the memories and so-called alerts and stuff like that. It's like, oh god, give it a rest.
He was blacklisted.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Ooh.
The guy, he was blacklisted according to LT. And everybody knew this, but he didn't. Oh my god.
Good.
Perfect.
All right.
Justice.
Then I'm actually going through Young's video right now to try and find the guy.
Whoa, robot.
Hold on. Just give
You are roboting.
me a moment. There it is. Shane Satterfield.
And he was hoping they would invite him back. Why would they when he just played Triple Jeopardy?
Here we go. Shane Satterfield.
LT, thank you for all the info.
Mm-hmm. Yep, here he is, Sean Satterfield. A fat.
I'm just gonna call him Shatterfield.
He is a fat bastard, if ever I've seen one, and a greedy little fuck as well. And honestly, I have no sympathy for someone like this. You deserve every. No, you know what's funny? He is pissed, not only because of that, but because he's even gone so far as to disable the comments and dislike to like ratio on the video where he's trying to defend himself. And the next video showed like a huge dip in people liking it. It's like, good job, numbnuts. You just made a lot of enemies.
Yes, that is exactly what I was trying to say, LT. Exactly.
Shatterfield, exactly.
Don't call him Satterfield. Call him Shatterfield.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, apparently, but long story short, this is a guy to avoid. He is not journalism.
No, he's not. And honestly, if Sifted wants to save their reputation and like keep the goodwill of the people as well as their job with game, actually getting paid from journalists to cover their shit and all that stuff, like all that, they need to drop this guy, like urgently.
Yep.
I would say they need to do more than just drop him. They need to clean house after that, because if they don't properly go through everything, they're gonna miss something else, and they're gonna have it happen all over again.
Exactly.
Burn
and again,
salt it. Just burn and salt it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And again, I feel so sorry for CD Projekt Red. I mean, yeah, they've done shady shit in the past, but when they invite someone out there and ask, hey, be respectful, don't leak shit. You don't leak shit.
Exactly.
It's common human fucking courtesy. Shane, something you clearly don't understand. In fact, do you know what? And this is directly to you, Shane. Go back to Journalism 101 in high school, because clearly you learned jack shit.
You can almost say the same about the majority of journalists these days.
Yeah.
Agreed,
we're not going to get too political with that, Bill, so keep that to yourself.
I know, that's as far as I was going.
But
no, like I said,
the thing I've been wanting to say during all this, I haven't seen anything of this guy. I don't even know who the hell he is. I don't care anymore. Thanks to Rev. Thank you. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
I can just say this, like, I haven't seen anything, so his type of journalism is not the way to go. Like, the best type of journalism I can think of is like the co-optional podcast, this podcast. There's another one. Oh god, what was it? Best Friends, I think, like Best Friends Play, they have their own little podcast that they do.
Yeah.
And is that similar to what we're doing here?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
Close enough.
That podcast, like Wanderbots has a podcast too. They do journalism too. Things like that, like in ours, we respect the material. I don't show pictures from anything unless I have a link to the original creator. I don't share images or link videos unless I clearly state this is a spoiler, but we are allowed to share it. That's how you journalism. That's how you be a journalist. Sorry, I'm tired. and I'm a little worked up.
You're fine. You're fine.
Get permission to share this shit. You link the sources. You respect the creators. You don't talk shit about them unless they very, very much deserve it. Like that one director, like Ballas. He's a dick. And
Exactly.
we completely went around in the loop to Ballas again. But
Ballas is our emotional punching bag.
Well, I think it's very quickly going to become Nef Anyo. Anyway, what we're doing now, this is how you do journalism. You get the sources, you research, you respect the material and the creator. You don't do it for the views.
Exactly. You know what? In fact, I'm going to do this as well.
Your what?
Link. I'm going to link us. Sorry. I'm going to link the Young Yaz article. And, you guys can look for it for yourself because he breaks the story perfectly.
I'm going to post this link in the YouTube description, and then I'm going to open up Twitch and post it in the chat.
Yeah, there we go. Like I said,
one last thing I want to mention about how you conduct yourself as a journalist is no more of the different I'm trying to avoid the politics, so I'm trying to word this carefully here. But I guess in general, it's just be honest about it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Because
again,
a lot of the
human fucking decency.
Yeah. I mean, I'll admit point blank, my own opinion on things is a lot of things in terms of common sense, logic, decency, courtesy, it's all dying off and fading. So it's could you please at least try to bring it back?
Yep. After this topic, we're going to have to take a break because I'm getting worked up.
Agreed.
It pisses me off to see YouTubers do this, to see people take advantage of something and completely ignore everything around them. Here's the thing.
Oh, definitely.
Game developers have a lot of money behind them. They have a lot of power behind them. And you go and you throw a rock at them like this. You're asking for trouble.
You're poking a sleeping dragon.
Or
exactly.
if we go back to the bug thing, you are throwing a rock at a hornet's nest.
Oh,
a hornet's nest that knows full well who threw the rock and will tear you apart.
Exactly. Like I said, and then getting mad at, why is the hornet stinging me? Well, maybe it's because you were a dumbass about it.
Or in my world, you get kicked by the horse, maybe you shouldn't have poked the ass too much.
Or pulled the tail, or slapped its ass.
Yep.
That's another thing I notice in old Western movies. They keep slapping the horse on the ass. How come the horse isn't kicking?
Actually, that one gets them moving most of the time because they'll run away, but occasionally they'll buck out and that's when you get kicked.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Pretty much. And honestly, like I said, the thing, I have had no sympathy towards these people. I have no sympathy towards anyone who does this kind of shit because you put all people, myself included, and everyone who tries to do this right in jeopardy. And honestly, like I said, I don't care. I don't care if it's, we're going to get so many views and blah, 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 blah. It's no. No. Act like a kid, be mature about it, and you will get people's support. But if you're going to be an ass about it and expect to get the free money quickly, you're not going to get it. And what's worse, you're going to piss off people you shouldn't piss off.
Basically, act like a kid that knows what to do when they have an allowance, instead of being a kid in the supermarket screaming about gummy bears.
Yep.
That's a basic analogy here, because I'm suddenly thinking of the Berenstain Bears.
But it sums it up perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
In fact, there's a lesson my grandfather taught me that sums it up just as easily is if you're going to do the job, make sure it's worth doing it correctly. Otherwise, don't bother.
Yes. It's like that saying in Spanish, where roughly translated means, "He who is lazy shall do double the work."
Yep.
I've heard of that one, yeah.
I don't want to get into the bullshit that was my old job. So I say we finish the topic with this. There's the link that I sent in the description on YouTube and in the chat on Twitch talks about a fake journalist. Avoid this fake journalist at all costs. The way he does it is not journalism. It's horrendous. It's terrible. Instead, like support like podcasts that two best friends play, Wanderbots, co-optional podcast is a definitely support those guys.
What was that Minecraft one you mentioned before?
That one is long gone.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
And I am very sad about that because I love that show so much. I wanted to be a guest star on there.
Well, maybe one of these days you might get a chance to get them on here.
Maybe. Well, unfortunately, I think mostly what they do is play Fortnite. No. Anyway, avoid the guy. Should we be supporting Yang Ye instead?
Yeah, the guy is a good journalist.
Yeah, so the guy that actually has ownership of the video that I linked, support him instead. That's another thing. Support him.
Exactly.
He's a good guy.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we need to take a break.
All right, we're going to take a break. We will be back soon.
Yeah. So I am going to play the intro music on repeat. If you don't like the intro music, then mute, tab away, get yourself something to drink, stretch, call your alien overlords, whatever it is you do. Change the human skin that you're pretending to wear.
Spawn more overlords.
Fuck you! That was the most terrifying thing of my childhood. Playing StarCraft with max volume.
Oh yeah, I know exactly what you mean. Good God.
But yeah, stretch, get up, get yourself something to eat, go to the bathroom, reconnect with your alien overlords and all that jazz. We're gonna take a break. I know the image says 5-minute break. I'm gonna be redoing these images sometime soon. Probably gonna stream that. But yeah, right. We'll see you guys in a bit.
Okay, bye.
And just between me and the audience here, please support podcasts like Wanderbots and co-optional podcasts and Two Best Friends Play and stuff like that. Even ours, if you want to. Like, these people work their ass off. Yeah, bye LT. These people work their asses off to get you proper stories, proper news about games and movies and TV shows. And they try their best to not get in trouble, to not break the rules. Just try and support them and avoid this guy. Anyway, yeah, we'll be right back. Okay, and we're back. And this time we're all on time. Hopefully.
Amazing.
Yep.
All right. So, we've got about 4 more topics to cover before we are finished tonight.
Yep,
Oh,
and that
long
is
haul.
including the monthly thing, so.
Yeah, I think we'll skip over the third object, just go straight to the fourth one, mostly because this has the least amount of information behind it.
Yep.
So, for those of you curious about a few information, there have been. Excuse me. There has been rumors and talks about a new Gundam live-action movie. Again, mostly rumors and things of that like, but according to them, it is in the general works, meaning that so far I think script writing, production, and costumes are being built and set for the movie. I believe this was inevitable, to be quite honest, given the whole, Ready Player One and Pacific Rim Uprising.
Yep. The age of
However,
giant robots
has restarted. However, I want to bring attention to something important, and something I believe a lot of people have forgotten over the years, really. This won't be the first Gundam live-action movie. I don't know if I've covered this before, have I?
I don't remember if you have.
I don't know. I don't remember if you have. I know of what you're talking about. Never saw it, but I know of it.
Well, I might as well talk about it here then. For those of you who don't know or are curious, there was a Gundam live-action movie to tie in an upcoming anime of the time. I don't know what the anime was called, but I know it wasn't part of the Universal Century timeline. This movie was called Gundam G-Savior, and the premise was basically, well, I mean, it's not a terrible movie, but it's not that great. Yeah. The plot is a fried ball of cheese. That's just being generous. A lot of the sets are, I believe, reused from Stargate, one of the Stargate series, because it looks very familiar. And a lot of the mobile suits of the series are actually unique and unique designs, believe it or not. Completely original to the movie, for better or for worse. They take inspiration from the Gelgoog mobile suit, but add a few other details like gigantic side skirts and ammunition packages and things of that nature. Again, they're right at home with any Xeon mobile suit, to be honest. I mean, you could probably say like it's a few generations after like certain events. And I'm just gonna, show it off real quick. So I'll just link it here. Yeah. The CG, however, was kind of what drew people away from the movie. I mean, it wasn't terrible.
Which is shocking because the Japanese are getting really, really good at like CGI stuff.
No, this wasn't Japanese. This was American made.
Oh, that explains it.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, it's not terrible. What's it called? It's not terrible in and of its own right. I mean, it was very early 2000 CGI, so of course it's going to look very meh by comparisons.
Kind of janky.
Yeah, but the animations for it were actually quite fluid, and it felt like every mobile suit that hit each other had weight behind the punches.
Oh,
Shocking,
God,
I know.
that is something that bothers me about CGI live-action movies. Pacific Rim, like a giant robot just punch a giant creature in the face. I feel nothing. Like it didn't even look like it hit hard enough. That's it.
Yeah, well, in G-Savior, Thank you. The machines move quickly, but slow enough since they are in space, you know?
Yeah.
It's a weird medium. And yet every time they impact or use their swords or whatever, you hear the metal clang and you see impacts, you see the sparks fly from the swords, and it's all right, it's good. The actors could have been worse. I mean, yeah, they chew the scenery, but in a good way. You know? Taking it seriously, but not too seriously. And like I said, to be honest, maybe I'm one of the few people who actually enjoyed G Savior for what it was. But to be quite frank, it was okay. I think it deserves another shot, if anything. Hence why I am interested to see where this new live action movie goes. Because believe it or not, unlike a lot of the other live action adaptation movies, Gundam has actually had what's it called? It's actually had its fair share of okay live action interpretations, and in a good way, you know. I mean, here I'll show another example real quick. This one was from a arcade game way back in the day. We're talking whole years back. Yeah, but they actually bothered to give the guy an appropriate costume, not just some retarded flight suit. And I appreciate that.
That kind of reminds me of like the oh god, I forgot the name of the console now.
PS2, PS4.
I think of like a game possibly on like the Dreamcast or something.
Oh
Just
no,
like-
I'm
just
thinking
like-
further back than that.
Like early PC CGI animations, like StarCraft or something. Like it looked terrible but good at the same time.
Yeah, it's this game was back what you call it? Back in those days when certain games were just basically a cartoon movie, but you had to push buttons in order to do things properly.
Ah.
You know, it was one of those arcade games.
You mean
And-
like sorry to interrupt. You mean like what was it? Damn it! Why can't I remember anything?
Telltale games or something like that?
No, I was thinking more like Don Bluth. Space Ace. That's it.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm trying to find the name of this, however. I cannot remember what it was called. No, that wasn't it. No, I'm kidding.
Ow.
What was it? What is it? Hold on. War for Earth, that's it. Basically, well, War for Earth was basically like that, but except it had a bit more originality behind it. For example, the arcade cabinet was designed to be a replica of a mobile suit cockpit. And basically you would sit in it and you had to respond to button commands on the screen as quickly. But it felt natural, you know? At the moment you see the command, you're like, okay, immediate instinct, push the button and expect combat. It was good, it was
I've
clever.
seen something like that before. It was likely a different game though.
Probably. I mean, a lot of the actors are cheesy as all fuck, but it's like this was early 2000, like 19 somethings, and it's like, I'm okay with this. I don't care that much. However, there are some screw ups in terms of the lore, for example. First off, you don't play as any of the characters from the universe. You're actually playing yourself. The main protagonist for Gundam basically died in the hangar bay, unable to get to the mobile suit, and you have to basically do it. And it's apparent that because he's dead, a lot of the war is going a lot worse than you expected. First off, you suck as a pilot. Let's get that out of the way.
Oh boy.
First outing you get, you fight like two Zakus. You take out one of them relatively easily, but another one takes out your legs or blows off one of your legs. So because they don't have parts to repair the leg right away, they have to remove the upper torso of the mobile suit and put tank treads on the bottom half.
What?
It is as clunky. Yeah, well, it's in Gundam originally there were 3 prototype mobile suits the Federation made: the Gundam, the Gun Cannon, and the Gun Tank. And so much.
I know. I don't even know what's causing it this time. There's nobody home but me.
I won't lie.
Oh, it's back
Issues
to
like
green.
this
We're good.
keeps making me think of like having
Okay.
a full office where we're all talking.
Yes. Anyway, like I said, it's basically just taking the legs, making it. The fighting is interesting. You do get to fight Char a few times, except they changed his name. He's not Char Aznable, he's Aznable now.
He's as what?
Aznable.
Ah.
When I saw that, my immediate thought was, you fucked that up in translation, didn't you? like super hard, and honestly, I don't blame him.
That's like a little kid trying to say a very simple word, but fucking up so bad they say something else, like that Vine where the kid's spelling parakeet but says penguin.
Yes, it's like,
Or
that's
like
a
when I was a little kid, I couldn't say truck, so I said fuck. I legitimately said that.
I'm sure you got a good talking to on that one.
I was really little. Nobody cared.
Oh, so you got the easy way out.
Anyway, yeah, a lot of characters chew up the scenes, and there is one moment in this entire thing that, like, flat out, there is a scene where you are sent to take out a Xeon base, right?
Right.
And they warn you, saying, "Be careful. There's a Dom inside, and it's part of the elite guard." And your immediate thought is, "Oh, a Dom, the big ones with the cross-shaped heads." And you're like, "Okay, I think I can handle that." No, it's not a Dom. They fucked up the model, and instead you're fighting a goof. It's it's so stupid. And they never refer to it as a Dom again. They just, the guy just says, "Get ready to fight an elite guard of Xeon," and fights you. It's actually kind of cool. Like, it's a close quarters fight, and the whole time you're just barely surviving. You actually take the guy out by throwing the mobile suit into a power reactor. Freaking amazing. But yeah, like I said, outside of that, game's okay. As a retelling, it's fine. I heard Japan really was pissed about that one, though. Actually redubbed everything in Japanese.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Well, it's odd, because usually we're the ones dubbing everything in English. It's rare to have it the other way around, if at all. Though I'm pretty sure I'm missing some instances where the Japanese dub was, it was English and they turned it to Japanese.
There's probably something out there.
Anyway, I just wanted to cover that real quick, put my 2 cents in. All right.
I wanted to mention real quick when you're saying you're facing the Dom and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Because of how my audio is at the moment, it almost sounded like you're saying you're facing a dog.
A dog. Yeah, I thought that too.
And then you just said, but no, you're facing a goof, like a goofball, was how it came across to me.
Like, I heard goof, I heard goof, and I thought, oh my god, the irony of all this. And then, like, now you're talking about this, I'm thinking, oh my god, is he talking about Goofy?
No. Look, okay, this is like going a bit ahead of what we had to address a joke. The reason why those things are called goofs, it's an acronym, but it's not an in-universe thing.
Ah.
It's a joke, or like a nod to the American audience, and it's shortened for Gundam Official User Forum. Goof.
Okay, well, at least now I know why the hell they call it that.
Yes, it's still a dumb name
about that.
To me, it is still the Gundam with a penis in its arm. I'm never gonna let that go.
No, she's not. Okay. So, next on our list.
Yep, carrying on from Dick Arm.
Yeah, it's still going to be a bit Gundam focused, but this is more of a think tank kind of idea. So, the question we propose is, series continuities. Do long series benefit from having shared continuity? An example being Power Rangers and Gundam.
Oh boy.
I think it's best summed up as saying this is really murky water because you have a lot of different variables.
Mm-hmm. Like, Power Rangers is one of those things where you love it and you want to see it succeed and continue, but at the same time, you know full well that it's gone on for so long that it is destroying itself.
It is self-imploding.
Like I watched the movie recently. It was really good. I laughed my ass off when they played the Power Rangers theme out of nowhere. And then they made random quotes from the TV show. But it was still good. It still brings that that heat, that warmth in your gut. Like, oh my god, this is childhood. This is so familiar. I am so happy to see this come back. Nostalgia, yeah, it still brings that warmth, even though the movie didn't do that well.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. You look at the old Power Rangers, if you take yourself out of being a little kid watching Mighty Morphin, the show was actually pretty shit.
And it was kind of dark.
It was dark. The show was shit, but it was good. Like, you were always excited to see what problem the bad guys were going to make, and you already knew full well that it's never going to work. And then, the first movie comes out, and you're like, oh my god, this could actually be the end. Nope.
Ivan Ooze.
Oh god, that guy freaked me out when I was a kid. But
worst alive.
But the problem I'm seeing with Gundam has been around for Gundam has been around for a very long time.
Since the 80s.
And the problem I'm seeing with Gundam is that I'm not seeing it anywhere. Yeah, we're seeing the old stuff, but we're just not seeing it anywhere. When I was posting that link to vote for the next Gundam of the month, there was nothing.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't seen a single post or image of anything Gundam related, except for one artist, but because we're on YouTube, I can't share it.
Well, here's the thing about that. The thing is, there is new stuff going on. That's the thing. It's just you need to know where to look. Is the problem? Because right now,
interest.
Exactly. It's not like Power Ranger where you just Google Power Rangers and then boom, you get 10 different things, and then you start finding out it's oh, this is still going on.
It's still going on. It probably should stop. But then again, in Japan, it's still going. It's just a different show.
Yeah, well, here's the thing about that. I bring this up because recently I was watching a YouTuber go through the history of the Power Rangers, every series that came from Morphing all the way to current, roughly.
Mm-hmm.
And what shocked me is that despite the series or the series always changing protagonists and themes, something stays consistent, and that is a very strange overarching story, one that actually connects in strange ways. And this is the crux of why I brought this up, because as I look through it, I find out that it is, in fact, one gigantic continuous story. Every time a new team is introduced, a new concept and enemy comes up, and yet they still are connected. You'll still find Rangers teaming up with other Rangers and saying, oh, let's do this, and then they kind of reveal how the team up is possible. In the most, it's not overly explained either. It's just basically, oh, what's the best idea? It's like, it's basically, oh, we're based here in like San Francisco, and then you got the Rangers from Japan, and they just came over when they heard trouble was brewing. So, team up. That kind of
Like the best example of that, because I'll be honest, I kind of realized that very quickly. Oh god, which one was it? I think it was a Zeo or something like the rescue force. It was like early generations, like where they had cars for their Zords, but it wasn't turbo.
Oh yeah. The motorbikes and things like that, I think.
But like we learn green square, we're good. I don't know what's going on. I really don't. But
I don't know.
Where did I
Go
leave
ahead,
off?
you were saying.
Oh yeah, the Red Ranger from like a old series was the dad of the Blue Ranger in Space Patrol Delta.
I know what you're talking about. It's I know that Ranger. Yeah, he was part of. I believe it's Rescue. No, it wasn't Rescue Force. It was Time Force. That's it.
I don't think so. It was like a proto version of Space Patrol Delta because SPD was Intergalactic Police.
Hold on, let me see. I know the helmet you're talking about.
Yeah, but anyway,
it had a weird arrow, didn't it? Going down the front.
That would be Zeo. No, because that would mean it's like Jason. It had like headlights on it. I remember it was like a square window. Anyway, continuing on. Another thing that kind of hints that there's an overarching story. Tommy returns in Dino Thunder, which was one of my favorites as the Black Ranger. But he was originally the White Ranger and the Green Ranger. I still prefer the Green Ranger, honestly.
White.
Yeah, I know. Green Ranger is still my favorite.
Same here.
I wonder why.
Anyway, and then like later on, there was a 3-way crossover with Ninja Storm, Dino Thunder, and SPD.
Mm-hmm.
And then like recently, every single Ranger team that has ever existed team up. And then yet another one, and this is like, I know that there's a lot of people who are younger than us who have probably never seen this. I don't know if I want to give away this spoiler, but there was the Ranger team where all of their Zords were made up of trains, and they're also in space. They're the rescue ones, I think. But anyway,
I think I remember that one, honestly.
But that one has like the most revealing overarching story because it shows like people in Japan, it shows Turbo, it shows I think Mighty Morphing. No, not Mighty Morphing. It shows another team, just shows all these teams all around the world. And the evil just washing away because of what the Red Ranger did in this series, like the end of this series. It was such a burst of energy that all the evil went away. All the villains just turned back to their original selves. Their evil went away. And
this happened.
That was like early Power Rangers, but the story is still going.
Exactly. And this is the slight issue I have, is that every time a new team is assembled or a new spin is made, there is always, for some odd reason, some great evil that just kind of returned, It's never someone coming back. It's like, okay, I survived this, and we're doing it again. It's always some ancient evil sealed away in a tomb, and we just kind of said, fuck it, just leave it alone. There's no way this is going to bite us in the ass.
I think the only time we ever have it be like someone new is, I guess it's like Dino Thunder. Because like, the bad guy is a spirit that possesses somebody and keeps turning them into a dinosaur. And then they turn their own son into the White Ranger, who is also being possessed by said White Ranger. Holy crap, that White Ranger was badass, by the way.
Until they got rid of like his evil side, then he just kind of becomes...
He just becomes meh. But like with
Exactly.
SPD, it's vastly different. It's a character who has been around for a very long time, who is ongoing, who has never been stopped or, captured, doing this this galactic conquest. And like the teacher character, because there's always a teacher character, a father figure of these shows, has actually met and fought this guy before and survived it, but the guy still got away. So that's another example of it.
Exactly. And this is the thing I'm getting at, is that this is an example, basically, these overarching stories connecting in the proper way, and you get context. Not only is one series ending, but you kind of keep going, and then you feel this is right,
I still
like
find
you feel like this is going.
I still find it very weird that we have these series where they're like intergalactic rangers or spacey rangers, and then you have oh god, what was it, like Mystic Force or something like that, where it's magic, elves and wizards and centaurs and shit. That series was actually really good. I like that one.
Character and Star Wars, yeah.
It's just that doesn't really feel like it fits with the rest of the series, because everything else is intergalactic.
Well, this is the thing I've kind of like gotten used to, is that the Power Rangers universe, or whatever you want to call it, is heavily, the laws of science are very loose, I guess you could say. Yes, and the magic is like an element that exists, and there are some who refine the magic into technology, and others who just use the magic as is. Hence why you can have people building machines out of this almost impossible magic, and others who use the magic for their own benefit. That's always what I've just said. It's like, fuck it, don't try to think about it too hard.
Plus, we do see signs that the Zords have a sentience that humans can't make.
Exactly. It's always a persistent kind of element to this series, and after a while, you just kind of accept it and move on.
I was waiting for that. I
am so tempted to find a link to it and play it with Fredboat, but anyway.
No,
summing this up. Gundam and Power Rangers have been around for a very long time. Since we were kids. That's just the thing. We've all been kids watching this stuff. Continuity is good. It's just, after a while, it will actually start to destroy itself, like what Power Rangers is doing. Granted, it's still being successful. It's just, it's not the same.
Well, that's what I was going to bring up, actually. According to the sources, the footage and things I've seen, Disney tried to end the series with RPD or something like that. Some
SPD.
weird. No, a different one.
Oh.
Like it was like a different acronym, RPM, something like that.
Oh god.
And yeah, they wanted to end it there. And to be honest, it felt like an appropriate, evil kind of semi-triumphs. The Rangers stop it, and the world kind of survives. And if it had ended there, I would have been like, okay, you know what, this is fine. I mean, it's not the greatest send-off, but this is as good as we're going to get. And then I think like 2 other series came out with different creative heads, and it's like,
personally, I think the series should have ended with the end of the one I was talking about, where all the evil went away. It should have ended there.
Yep.
It really should, but
it didn't, and we lost a very, very good character because of it.
Yeah, and the other thing I wanted to bring up as well is to bring up the Gundam side of all this. I do want to say that Gundam is divided into 2 different things, Universal Century and the non-Universal Century. And Universal Century, as far as I know, is the only one connective tissue to each other, the continuity. And because of that, the story is just like Power Rangers. It's overreaching, and you actually, you see it go. And kind of like with Tommy in Dino Thunder. I always call it something.
Yeah, there is one with dragons, but it's Dino Thunder.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, but like with Tommy, where you actually saw him progress green, white. Was he red at some point?
No.
No.
Okay. Green, white.
No, he wasn't.
Okay. But from, green, white, and then being so.
He went from green to white, and then years later, he became the Black Ranger.
Exactly, but he still contained and maintained those.
Yeah. Even
as the years went by and, evolved as a person. And by that same token, just like with to go to Gundam for an instance, you see that as well. You actually see pilots from the first Gundam series actually grow up later on, like some who were like 19, 18, or 20 jump from a few years and suddenly they're like entering their mid-20s, and then you jump again, you see them in their late 30s, and you see how they change as people, how their ideals evolve, and how their personalities change. I freaking love that. And, to use Power Rangers as an example, you don't see that much, really. I mean, because the team always changes, but you never see them grow or change as a result.
By the way,
Bill, speculation.
Which Red Ranger did you meet?
I was going to mention that later.
Yeah, by the way, Bill went to Comic-Con?
San Francisco Comic-Con 2017. I was lucky enough to get a free pass because a friend of mine needed some help, so I volunteered to help out, and I got a free pass to get in. And I got to meet the original Red Ranger from Mighty Morphin.
Really?
Austin St. John. Yeah, I actually got a photo with him.
I didn't save it to my phone. It's not in our previous chats on Discord, so.
Give me a few minutes and I can send it to the gallery. It's just going to take me a while.
My God, he's got him fat. It's like, what the hell happened to you?
I found it very amusing that Tommy went from a long-haired guy to one of the musicians, one of the singers from Linkin Park. like in Dino Thunder, he looks like the singer from Linkin Park, like one of the singers, the guy with the black hair that's on the piano.
He really does.
He really did. And apparently he was at the premiere of the movie.
Oh.
Wow.
And I know there were some YouTubers that got to see him. Just like, God damn it.
I think but I'm pretty sure he walked away from.
I don't know.
No, I'm just kidding. It's like,
When it comes to Power Rangers, your immediate thought is, oh, Tommy. Because he was one of the most memorable. There was also Jason. There was Kimberly. Oh God, Kimberly. Don't get me started on that one. My dad loves her.
Don't forget Billy.
Oh, Billy! I was thinking about that. When we were talking about magic and science, I was thinking about Billy and how he left the show. It broke my heart.
Yep.
Oh man, he was one of my favorites.
Yep.
Wait, what? Did he leave?
I know this one very well. I remember this episode vividly. Rita Repulsa did something to him. I don't remember exactly, but she aged him very, very quickly. So he was an old man. And as time went on, he would get older and weaker and sicker. And they were in a rush to cure him, and everything they had tried wasn't working until Zordon contacted an alien race who could help him. In return, they help them against Rita Repulsa. They succeed. They bring this water that is supposed to age him back to normal. It doesn't work, so they propose taking him back to their planet to cure him. He agrees, and he stays. Cured, but stays.
Yep. That was the in-movie version of why he left, and I'll leave it at that.
Yeah. To be quite honest,
you wouldn't get that what?
Sorry, I was about to say, in all honesty, I'm not, this shit tended to happen. If you really look at some events in Power Rangers, it's like, I'm amazed any of you walked away with your sanity or your parts intact.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, you're putting kids in the front line of a war.
Well, teenagers, but yeah.
But you know what I mean. It's
yeah.
like, And this is, I'm going to say this right now. Everyone knows about that, what was it, the rated R movie someone made, like the fan thing?
Oh, God.
Hear me out. I didn't mind it as a what if, what's it called? Oh my God, what's it called? I didn't mind it as a what if scenario. I really didn't. You know, because it's not part of the canon or anything like that. So I was like, okay, it's just a what if. I'm fine. I don't care. I mean, yeah, I agree. All the characters were horribly butchered to fit this nitty gritty.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. That was really well done.
Yeah, it was. I actually enjoyed it. It's just there were some moments in that movie I was kind of like.
I watched it.
Okay.
I'm just like, no. It's good, but no.
Again, like I said, to me, being semi-grounded in realism, you know, when I saw this, I'm like, yeah, this makes sense. Yeah, I mean, it's sad, but it makes sense. Still messed up though.
Bill, do you want yourself covered by Puff, or do you want me to lower that?
That's up to you.
So yeah,
I'll put him back. What?
No, I'm just looking at the image and it's funny. I looked at the screen.
I didn't know if he wanted his face to be showing.
Doesn't matter to me, really.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, I forgot how tall you are.
6'8".
I can just imagine.
That is the first thing people say. Holy shit, you're tall. I am holding on to this image, by the way. I'm never getting rid of it.
No. Hear me out. This is like, what's it? To me, like, I can just imagine the conversation. The kid, and he's just looking at him like, Jesus Christ, you're huge. It's like, now I feel like the kid.
Well, I also met what's his name? He did
Samwise Gamgee.
Yes, thank you.
Oh, him.
I also got a photo with him, and he's 5'2", and he looks at me and says, "Boy, you're a tall drink of water, aren't you?" Like, yeah, I get that a lot. And I had to take off my glasses because of all the lights and flash on that one. I was blinded for about 5 seconds.
At least he has a good sense of humor. If he, meant it as a joke.
Well, with my height, you get used to the jokes.
And I mean, he probably didn't mean anything.
He is actually a pretty funny guy.
I don't doubt it.
That one's a bit of a sore spot.
Yeah.
I
take responsibility for that. Sorry.
An honest question, though. I want to ask this, though. And this is just me humoring the idea, but since we had, with the whole Rangers thing, since some Rangers did come back for, cameos or something of the nature like that, I wonder, do you think, if they ever did make another series, do you think Austin St. John would be interested in making a cameo appearance? Or do you think he's, washed his hands with the series?
Well, if I remember correctly, he was in that one where all the Rangers came together.
Yeah.
And
I think, from what I read, that was the last one he was going to do, mainly because he moved on to do a lot of different things. Like at one point, he was a medic in the military, I believe. I could be wrong. I could have misread that, but he did some medical work. So.
Yeah, that's fair. That's ironic, all things considering. Played a character who helped people and actually went on to help people.
Well, he kind of didn't care for the spotlight, and from what I remember reading is that he just wanted to actually do something to help folks in general. So he used what he had in ways of resources to go and help actually do things. So
yeah. Again, it's people like him don't come around anymore. It's a shame.
And those who do don't last very long.
Mm-hmm. Fuck, that got depressing. All right, so I guess we covered everything here.
Yeah, and
I
you
know
got the
that. I
photo
know
of
that.
me.
The actress for Kimberly went on to do movies for the Sci-Fi Channel.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. And she's done some pretty good ones too.
Oh my
Let
gosh,
me-
there was one with a volcano that my dad wanted to watch so bad. It was awful.
Let me see.
I could probably guess which one if you give me some details about it.
I don't remember it. I just remember it had a volcano. I would have to ask my
Okay.
dad, and I don't think he's home right now. I'm gonna mute myself so I can eat my burrito. It's gigantic.
Okay. I think I found her. Amy Jo Johnson? Is that her name?
Nope. Kimberly
No.
Ann Hart.
Are you kidding
Or
me?
no,
That's
you're right. Amy Jo Johnson was the actress. My bad.
Yeah.
I clicked the wrong thing and it had a different name.
Let's see here. Acting career, musical drama. You got Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Appeared on
Magma,
VHS.
volcanic disaster.
Spin City, ER. Yeah, there it is. Magma volcanic disaster.
And there's a photo with her in 2000 holding a yellow Game Boy.
Oh my god.
The original Game Boy Color. How about that?
Man, that's.
Well, I feel old.
Yes,
Yeah, really. Thank you.
Fuck me.
Okay.
Oh well. All right. I think we've covered everything here. So
Mm-hmm.
let me go from here.
Real quick, Miss Johnson here actually was given a cameo role in Power Rangers for the 2017 film.
Oh, did she?
Where?
Alongside Jason David Frank, who was the Green Ranger, hence why they were both at the premiere.
Huh. Speaking of him, I think he's gotten a bit worse in his age.
He's a mixed martial artist, professional mixed martial artist with a whole bunch of tattoos.
I'll have to like rewatch the movie to see if I can find them.
You just look for the streak of green in his hair. You'll find him.
Mm. Also, I've given up muting myself because I have things to say. This burrito is like a foot long.
First, you foot long burrito.
I heard you
99%
when you
burrito.
said that, but you're kind of...
All right. I think we've rambled long enough.
Yeah, really.
Okay. Now let's get to our last topic of the evening.
I want to make one real quick, tiny little comment about the photo.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Sorry, but apologies, but I'm not very photogenic, so most of the photos I'm in end up being the same way.
Awkward and very tall.
Yep.
Sorry.
Meanwhile, I am
This
awkward
is why
and very short. I'm like 5'1".
This is why I stay behind the camera.
Yep.
Your natural tripod.
Yep. Hey, I used to have one of the steadiest hands.
He can get the panoramic view perfectly.
I've actually sent you a video of walking down the street at one point of that kind of a view, didn't I?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
At least I haven't seen it. Okay.
With a clear view of the biggest reason to say fuck you.
All right. So, you guys have a Pokemon of the month, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
All right. Since you guys usually tend to talk about it more in depth, maybe you guys should go first. Mine is kind of like a closing act, as always.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Let me set my burrito down if I can.
And I shall stay quiet for the most part.
Oh please.
Hey, whenever we do the Pokemon thing, if I stay quiet, then it goes faster.
I'll leave that up to you, I guess. Alright. Pokemon of the month. Last month for June, we had the Shuckle, which is that little turtle Pokemon with like the yellow head and red shell. different holes on it. The reason that one was the Pokemon of the Month is because it takes berries and can ferment it into an alcoholic drink. Take your guess on what you can use that for. Well, this month, for July, the Pokemon of the Month is Muna, which is an absolutely adorable little critter. It's like a combination between a baby pig and a tapir and a balloon. But basically, Muna is a little psychic Pokemon from 5th generation, mind you. And I think like this one definitely won the decision for the biggest reason. This is mostly for those of you who like suffer from sleeping disorders, like chronic night terror. Yeah, like insomnia or night terrors, or people who have very vivid dreams. Muna,
or an extreme nightmare.
I already said chronic nightmares and terrors.
Oh, sorry. Didn't hear that. Sorry.
That's right. That's right. Muna and their evolved form eat dreams and nightmares. And when they do it, they expel a pink-colored mist, and they can project the dream that they just devoured for their Pokemon Master. At the same time, the person that they devour the dreams from have no memory of what the dream was. Now, personally, I think this is a great little Pokemon. This is a fantastic Pokemon. Oh god, I have like partial insomnia, mostly from very vivid dreams and nightmares. Mostly dreams. Like,
likewise.
It is so hard to sleep these days. So hard. And
I don't even sleep.
Most of the time,
Sorry.
like by the time I go to sleep, it's like 5 a.m. And that's just because like I am so concerned as to what I am going to see.
Yep.
I'm gonna have to replace the Red Ranger image with the stat block. Oh, excuse me. Oh, excuse me again. Blech. Goddamn burrito. But yeah, I really don't know what else to say other than the fact that this little critter will be perfect for those with like sleeping disorders, like people who just struggle to sleep. Like, what else is there to say? This thing will really help you out.
It's also adorable little emotional support critter.
Yeah, I could definitely see like a little kid that like has really bad nightmares, like holding this thing like a toy.
Or anxiety, or autism, or something.
I would like to jump.
What?
I'm just jumping in for a second. I think I know what that.
You cut out.
I said I think I know what that thing's based on.
Oh.
Abaku, the Japanese dream eater.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah,
So
yeah.
Muso, which is like the first half of his name, is Japanese for dreamer vision, so it would make sense.
Yeah. I do want to mention one thing. Comparing Muna compared to Drowsy, another dream eater. I just wanted to point out one small difference here is that with Muna, supposedly there's no negative effects when it eats the dreams. Whereas Drowsy, you get a nightmare of it eating your dreams.
Yeah. I do know that there's another Pokemon that is related to dreams and nightmares, and that is a Darkrai, I believe.
Yeah.
So, just in comparison to those guys, Muna is a better choice. Like, I know there are people out there that think, oh gosh, it's a legendary, it's so powerful, I must have it. Legendary does not mean ultimate power. Just saying that. If you're going through Pokemon thinking, I need to catch every single legendary so I can be all powerful, you're basically playing the game incorrectly.
But you're missing the whole point of the game.
Yeah, you're missing the whole point. Like, yeah, legendaries are amazing. They're just amazingly designed. They're really cool. It's just not the ultimate power. Like, oh gosh, there was a video of a Zoomeril just obliterating every single legendary it came across. I thought it was hilarious. But anyway, getting back into focus. Muna is strictly psychic, but it can learn only one fairy move. I'm just gonna say that. Because when you first look at it, you think, oh, fairy. Its maximum stats, holy crap. Got a lot of HP.
It kind of makes sense considering the attack strength too.
Yeah. Maximum HP can potentially have is 356. Max attack is 163. Max defense is 207. Special attack 256. Special defense 229. Speed 161. It's not fast, but it's okay. I definitely see this Pokemon as being a prescription, like a service dog kind of way for those with sleeping disorders. Like that is the
or anxieties.
Yeah, that is the main thing about Muna and its evolution. Sleeping disorders and anxiety. That's pretty much it. The thing is, like,
I would say. Go ahead.
The thing is, like, I'm pretty sure those of you who don't have ad block on YouTube, for those of you who are supporting your YouTubers, and for those of you on Twitch watching ads, there's always that one about sleep where that little brain is kind of doing terribly. They are not lying when they said poor sleep will damage your brain.
Yep.
Sleep is very, very important. It's just really, really hard for some people to actually get that. Mostly because of like night terrors, because of like chronic disorders, anxieties, fears. Sometimes like the sleep paralysis, which is horrifying. This guy could really, really help.
Makes you wish it was real, huh?
Yeah, it really, really, really does. Because I am stressed to the max for the past few days. I need this little guy.
Yeah, maybe why not just go to Japan and try to get one? No, I was gonna say look for a Baku. I'm sure one will find you.
Maybe.
That's
I want to go.
trouble.
That's the thing. I want to go to Japan. That's my dream vacation.
I'd have to agree on that for a different reason, but yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, Muno's a great little Pokemon. Solely for anxiety relief, sleep relief. It's a medicinal Pokemon. It's a support dog, like a service dog. It's meant to help you.
It's hard to phrase that without sounding like you're putting it down, isn't it?
It's really hard to do that. Like, granted, Muna is not fantastic for battling, and that's the entire point of the Pokemon of the month for us. I'm not a fighter.
Generally, yeah.
I'm not sure about Bill. I don't like
half and half.
Yeah, half and half. I don't like the same old mechanics. Rev, you're making a lot of noise.
Oh, sorry.
I don't like the repeated mechanics. I don't want to fight anymore. I am tired of it. This little guy is the perfect example of what I'm trying to relay here. I don't want to fight. This little guy shouldn't fight. I want to go to sleep. This little guy will help you sleep.
Perfect cuddle buddy for bedtime.
Yes.
He becomes a pillow.
And the best part is, it floats.
Yep.
It floats around like a little balloon. That's why I said it looked like a balloon. Yeah, like, put simple, this little guy will help you sleep. It eats your nightmares. It eats your dreams. You will have a restless, dreamless sleep with this little guy around. And if you're feeling anxious or scared...
Not restless.
Yeah, just dreamless. Unless you have one in your arms. Then it's restless.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
As I was saying, this guy is also a bit of a cuddle buddy. Like, oh god, what was the Pokemon before Shuckle that we said was like a cuddle buddy? Forget it. Not important right now. Rev.
What?
there's a noise in the background.
Okay.
But yeah, put simple, this guy is really important, even though it looks really, really cute and not very effective in a battle. Again, that's the whole point of this. No battles. It looks like it could be a chia pet. No, I don't see that.
Kinda.
I don't see that. Maybe because of the flowers. Like,
I was thinking more of the shape is kind of like similar to how they used to have the chia pets. Remember the little sheep type?
yeah. What is the name of that Pokemon? Shaman or something like that? That one's more of a chia pet. The little hedgehog.
Yeah, that's a living chia pet.
Yeah. But wrapping this up, eats dreams, nightmares, good for anxiety, helps with sleep. It's a service Pokemon that is also pretty much medicinal. So yeah, that is the Pokemon of the month, Munna.
I was going to mention real quick, if you really are the type to battle, like I said, I go back and forth between the two. This one is handy in that if you don't want to fight, I believe it can put other opponents to sleep, so you can get away easier.
It hypnotizes. It can see. It has future sight. It has calm mind. It has dream eater, store energy. Yeah.
Yeah. So
calm mind.
So even if you do get into a fight with this one, at least you have a way to get out of a fight.
Yeah.
That's all I wanted to add in.
Oh, it can learn 2 fairy attacks: Dazzling Gleam and Moonlight. I was wrong.
I don't think any of those are attack moves, though.
I know, but they are moves. I said earlier that it can only learn 1 fairy move.
Oh, right.
Turns out I meant dark, because there's only 1 dark, and it's called Torment. Holy crap, I'm scared. No, it can learn Torment. Oh boy.
The way they come up with these names for the moves,
Yeah.
Oh well. I think that's about it for Munna.
Yep. So yeah, Munna. Munna. And that's it. We're going to mute ourselves so Rev can do his Gundam of the month.
Have fun.
Hello, I am back. All right, ladies and gentlemen, and so on and so forth. Okay then. So, ladies and gentlemen, tonight's mobile suit of the month is the MS-07 Goof. Yes, we come full circle to that point. HH, go ahead, show. I'm going to go to. Okay, then. I'll go into the production history of this particular mobile. And I dropped my lighter. Wonderful. Off to a great start. The Goof was basically a mobile suit that was designed to be a step up above the baseline Zaku type. They were meant to be somewhat of a, commander type mobile suit, only doled out to aces and others of their type. The Goof, however, was unique in that it also had it had several weapon integrated augments to its body. The left hand had a hand machine gun, which it used frequently in battle at close range and distance. However, this weapon has one glaring flaw. When in use, the hand must be straight as humanly possible in order to fire the bullets properly. If the hand closes or makes a fist or anything of that nature, the result is the barrels close in on themselves, making it impossible to shoot the weapon. This has also led to an issue where sometimes the joints won't line up right, leading to the bullets getting wedged into the fingertips, the finger region, and causing the whole hand to explode. Its secondary weapon was, of course, the heat rod, a weapon located in the right hand, which acted as an energy whip. As the name implies, it was a superheated metallic alloy-plated weapon, which it used specifically to disable other mobile suits. Not only could it slice through the alloy of a tough shield or another mobile suit, it could also fire an electrical current, which could disable certain parts of the mobile suit as necessary. The group's other primary weapon, which it made use of, was, of course, the large tower shield on it that it would carry. The tower shield was mainly designed to protect the pilot and the goof's more exposed extremities. It also carried with it a what's it called? It also carried. Okay. It also carried with itself. Sorry. As you can see here, the tower shield was attached to the left arm. This made it so that when it was shooting the weapon, it could easily protect itself. Unfortunately, due to the angle of the tower shield, it tended to go south rather quickly, resulting oftentimes in the shield either being damaged or, when the need arose for it to be reloaded, having to ditch the tower shield just to access the ammunition container inside the left arm. This, of course, resulted in the machine being less combat effective. Eventually, the goofs were put into mass service on Earth, but not enough to replace the Zaku armies. Oftentimes, when hunting down Amuro Ray and the base, the goofs would be on the backs of large, or stand on the backs of large, oh god, I'm trying to remember what they're called. Cloud skiffs or something of that nature. Basically, massive surfboards piloted by someone inside. They would use these vehicles to fly through the air and were oftentimes escorted by a small squadron of aerial vehicles. Unfortunately, however, good job. Unfortunately, this resulted in, them not being so easy to defend. Because the Goof is a ground-type mobile suit, it does result in it needing to fire, be on the ground to be more effective. This resulted, of course, with these vehicles being destroyed and the Goofs falling to their demise. The most famous pilot who ever used, oh yes, I almost forgot. The second weapon it uses in melee combat is actually not a heat saber like expected, but in fact a heat-sensitive alloy which forms once the handle is activated, almost acting like a bootleg beam saber. The most famous pilot to ever use a goof was, of course, Captain, Rambaral. Rambaral was quoted, of course, claiming that his goof was, and I quote, "No Zaku boy, no Zaku," engaging Amuro Ray and besting him a few times. Unfortunately for the good captain, his goof lost both its arms in the final attack, resulting in him having to retreat from the battle and marking a major defeat for Zeon. Because of this, it also highlighted a major flaw with the mobile suit. It was a weapon designed for close-range dueling. And that was it. Any vehicle, any mobile suit with a long-distance weapon, including beam artillery or even common-based ballistics, could easily destroy them. To counteract this, some goofs were given Zaku machine guns, allowing them to engage in close combat, in long-distance fighting. But of course, this also meant that the left-hand machine gun was pretty much worthless. And of course, whenever they would have to resort to using it, the aforementioned hand explosion would often come. The goof only saw Earthside deployment. Eventually, when Zeon had to retreat, the goof was never upgraded into a new form. However, speaking of upgrades, a bit of a special treat tonight. Since the goof only ever got updates between conflicts, it actually has only 4 different types. If it is all right with everyone here, I would like to go over them quickly. All right, good. The first one we will talk is the prototype goof, since it is the most easy to describe. The prototype goof was an early production model built by Zeon. specifically to test out the concepts of mobile suit combat and, of course, the designs of implementation of weapons. The Goof prototype featured a, very early version of a left-hand machine gun. Again, this weapon had a similar issue where, unfortunately, the fingers could easily cause the weapon to be destroyed. To counteract this issue, of course, the hand had to be pointed in a strange saluting manner, thus lining up the barrels properly and allowing it to fire. The right arm had another arm-mounted weapon. Specifically, this is where the heat rod was stored. Again, a test to see if it was capable of engaging enemies at distance range, as well as testing the concept of a heat rod. Unfortunately, this image does not show that it also had a swappable normal hand, which was bolted onto the arm between tests. Unlike the other types who had a smart alloy heat sword, these used heat hawks instead, and with the traditional tower shield. They proved effective in combat, and eventually they were approved for mass production. Well, minor mass production, I should say. Again, these goofs never really did would see overhauls and upgrades over time. The second goof type that would appear is the goof custom. Oh, good. Apologies. The goof custom was a unique design created specifically for the pilot Norris Packard, a Xeon pilot who had honor and desire to die in battle, honorable even for a Xeon pilot. The goof custom was a major improvement over everything the previous goofs had. For starters, the goof custom had not only a tower shield, but a massive minigun attached to the end of the tower shield. This allowed it to make incredible... I'm sorry. Apologies again. Okay. Apologies for that, people. She's informing me. HH is informing me of things as they go on. As I was saying, it had the minigun, which provided it the ability to target relatively easily. However, this did mean that it was much slower to respond, miniguns running up and all. Its second weapon that it made use of was actually a hidden gun underneath the tower shield. Once the minigun was used up, it could be detached from the shield, and and a arm-mounted machine gun on the left arm, as seen here, could be used in its place. The tower shield also contained a heat sword, different from the previous versions, which allowed it to easily slice, dash, and destroy anything that got in its way. The other weapon it also contained was a much thinner and more heat rod device located on the right arm. This, however, lacked the heat rod capability and instead was used specifically for disabling. Once it connected with anything, be it mobile suit or even vehicle, the electrical charge it would produce would cause the vehicle to lose power and short out. If it was a mobile suit's arm, the arm would be rendered useless. But if it was the cockpit, the pilot would be at risk. Its last weapon in its arm, all this and more. The major issues with the goof custom was, of course, the constant issue of reloading the arm-mounted weapon. Once the weapon had to be reloaded, the tower shield had to be disconnected from the arm. This meant that the weapon had to be completely abandoned once the machine gun required reloading. Because of this, it made it almost impractical to have a shield at that point. Another major issue, of course, was that despite its power and strength, its metal was still rather weak. Any form of blunt trauma could easily destroy certain segments. And unfortunately, this problem would persist. Eventually, the goof custom was destroyed during the conflict with the MS-08 team, killed by the pilot of the EZ Gundam. However, he succeeded in his mission and destroyed several gun tanks, providing his commanders with an air domination. The next the next goof type is colloquially known as the Thunderbolt goof. This one, actually, my mistake. I skipped over one. The next one is the Flight goof. This is a unique one, as this one was designed specifically to fly in atmosphere. The massive legs the legs contained massive turbines, which provided it the ability to fly not only off the ground, but actually fly through the air. It would engage targets at any range, using its air superiority to not only tear apart. Apologies. Apologies for that. The air superiority to easily get the drop off on enemies. These machines were seen mostly throughout the Asia campaign, and even the MS-8 team found themselves face to face with one. It used the bridge as cover, in fact, even using its superior thrusters to get around and make serious damage for the team. Unfortunately, the pilot of the EZ Gundam managed to best this type by forcing it into the water, causing its legs to short out and unable to fly again. He would then make short work of it and defeat it. Overall, it was a major improvement and had it seen more tactical use, the flight type might have been Xeon's solution for a heavy unit long before the dawn. Okay, now we come to our final goof, colloquially known as the Thunderbolt Sector goof. The Thunderbolt Sector goof is by far one of the more heavily augmented goof types. Not only does it come with a wide variety of weapons, these machines were designed specifically to engage hostiles in a blitz manner. The Thunderbolt goof was equipped with two weapons, a Zaku machine gun and a Zaku bazooka. Once they engaged their enemies, they would easily make use of these weapons, opening fire with everything they had. Depending on the type, of course, and the pilot, some would opt to have arm-mounted weapons, and others would have the tower shield sword combination. These goofs were only ever seen in the Thunderbolt sector towards the end of the 1 Year War. Unfortunately, despite boasting a lot of their upgrades and improvements from the previous goof models, they would unfortunately not survive their mission. It eventually proved that the goof type had long since its usefulness, and unfortunately, this would be the last hurrah and the last use of the goof ever in the 1 Year War. Personally, as a proud pilot of a goof, I can't say I blame them. While capable and functional, without upgrades and constant maintenance for your vehicle, it eventually becomes obsolete. Overall, I believe that covers the goof. If there are any questions, anybody wants to say anything, please let me know. Thank you.
And now I'm no longer muted on stream, and I have finished my giant ass burrito. Whoa.
Sorry, that's my chair. Questions, thoughts?
That left me halfway deaf. Ow.
Sorry. So I take it now, everyone's good? I got the information for everyone?
I'm good. I can see why you picked it as your representing icon.
Of course, these things were, despite being used so infrequently, these things were powerhouses for good reason.
Mm-hmm.
However, please note I'm not blind to the fact that there are flaws with it, and honestly, I would upgrade to.
You cut out.
I said, I see the problems with it, and I would probably upgrade to a Gelgoog if I had to.
Well, at least you're not stuck in the mud on things.
Of course, well, that's the thing. Unlike a lot of Xeon pilots who basically thought, oh, my machine is best because ergo, it's the newest model. I kind of understand that sometimes you need to upgrade, and it's the pilot that makes the suit, not the other way around.
Well, it's the same as anyone wielding a rifle. You can't the gun only shoots as good as the guy who's shooting it.
Pretty much.
Yep. Same with artists and their equipment.
Mhm.
Yeah, this program is going to let you draw these amazing paintings. But are you, the artist yourself, really good at that? No? Then you're fucked.
Exactly, and this was a problem Xeon never,
Mm-hmm.
as it went through the 1 year war, constantly upgrading and making experimental mobile suits, draining resources.
But not a single pilot had a brain in their head.
Oh no, here's the thing. When the 1 year war was coming to a serious end, Xeon had actually put inexperienced pilots on their state-of-the-art Gelgoop types.
Oh, God.
Not only that, but it also, due to the incredible strain of their resources and the fact that they had pissed away so many, this put the 5 decades old and obsolete Zaku 1 back into frontline production. You can imagine how well that went.
Not very good.
Mm-hmm. Like I said, if you don't take care of your troops, they won't be able to do their jobs.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway. Mm-hmm. Again, and it burns me inside, it does. Xeon could have been great. But we had idiots leading us.
Yep. Anyway.
Depressing moment over.
We have finished all the topics. We have done the Pokemon Gundam of the Month. Is there anything else we want to say? Other than Nefania's going to get a kick in the dick.
No, I think I'm good, actually. Might run a test later tonight.
Alright.
Bill, you got anything?
What is that dragon dog? Oh, hello, Video Central. Welcome to the stream. That dragon dog is actually a kaiju representing our friend Bill. I'm going to be redrawing this image that you see. I'm going to be redrawing this image that you see so it incorporates all three of us.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing I was going to mention regarding the Pokemon topic, I just had a small thought, and you can go ahead and say yes or no, but I was thinking if anyone who's watching this has a particular favorite that they might want to get our take on, go ahead and make a comment and let us know.
Oh yeah, I agree with that. But yeah, might as well just wrap it up for now.
Yep.
Because I need to go take some ibuprofen.
Okay.
I need to get drugs.
Drugs? No, thank you. Drugs? No, drugs? How did you get in here?
Oh, God. That Vine is awesome. So, yeah, I'm Hellhounds20. This is Rev and Bill, old friends. This is Left for Random Talk. It's a podcast that we do every Thursday. Every day or so, I do a gaming stream, either Warframe, Half-Life 2, or whatever we're feeling. I also do art streams, and I am taking commissions, though I have to work on that. I always say this at the end of streams, and I want you two to stay in the call for this.
Okay.
On YouTube, there is a link in the description to donate to us, and on Twitch, there is a creeper face in the description that you can click on to donate to us. It goes through Streamlabs, but still goes to my PayPal. And I remember early streams, somebody asked, how am I going to give these people bits? Here's how you do it. I actually learned this somewhat recently, but here's how you get bits, because each bit is 1 penny.
Mm-hmm.
You have to willingly watch an interactive ad, and it'll give you 5 to 10 bits each time. And then you can cheer to your heart's content. That's how you get bits. And they do help us.
Exactly.
Though I have to work on some stuff here to get it proper. But yeah, donating to us, sharing the links if you're not able to join us, getting the word out there, it really does help us out. We've been wanting to do this podcast for years now. Like back when I think it was like Left 4 Dead 2 was like the biggest craze.
Yep, all the way back then.
That's why we're called Left 4 Random Talk. What was that, Bill?
I said that's where you got the name.
Yeah, is where we got the name. And our first recording, because we didn't do it as a stream, was about Left 4 Dead, but that channel is gone now. Mostly because I forgot the password.
Found it.
Oh yeah, okay. Don't watch it, please. It was terrible.
Yeah, well, if you want to see the beta...
What?
What? I said if you want to see the beta formula of what we did back then, go for it.
If not, no, please don't. We recorded it with a really crappy add-on to Skype. It was only recorded 15-minute intervals. That was it. And it was terrible.
We're doing better now.
Yeah, don't watch it, please. But yeah, donate if you can. Just share the links if you're not able to join. It really does help us out. And I always Clem. Thank you, Video Central, for the blessing of Clem.
Clem.
Grakata.
We love Clem. We love Clem.
One day we will have him on the show.
Yay! But yeah, it really does help us out, and we're not asking you to do it. Like, we're suggesting for you to do it. If you don't want to, that's fine. We're not gonna force you. Just
feel free to come on, hang out, and laugh along.
Exactly. Yeah, we're not Wings of Redemption or DS. We won't guilt trip you into that shit.
Yeah. We try to be professional, but in the long run, we're idiots. We're idiots.
Yep.
We're just trying to host a podcast that is done between like 2 people and a dog
and various guests
and a moldy potato chip. Yeah, moldy potato chip. But yeah, thank you all for joining us. You guys can leave the call if you wish. Thank you guys for watching us. I am going to play the intro music on repeat until the stream is ended. You can leave as soon as it starts if you want. Your choice. Join us every Thursday and me every day. Potentially. Again, I'm stressed to the max, so don't hold your breath.
All right, see you guys.
Sayonara.
Bye.
Now it's just me in the audience. Again, going to the link in the description on YouTube and the Creeper Face on Twitch to donate via Streamlabs is really helpful. You can do that if you wish. If not, share the link to the Twitch channel. Thank you, sliding chairs, and the link to the channel itself on YouTube. Thank you, sliding chairs, and it'll really help us out. Just for now, see you guys later.